Hello, hello. Hey, Leo. Hey, Mysterious. So today is Tuesday. I would love to make it past the farm today. So Adam is going to try making it past the farming. What did I have as yesterday's day command, I guess? Oh, yeah. Past the farming sub game in SIABT today. And back to the next sub game is the Fever Dream platformer. Vacation starts in less than 2 weeks. Okay, there we go. When the first minute of stream is full force and energy, I like it. Yeah, I wait about 40 seconds and I just want to start. Part of it's because there's no real reason for me to wait for a bunch of people to be here. I don't try to be more interactive in the beginning part of the stream. And I know some people have asked for that, and just my goal is to be productive. All right, so entering the house in the farming game. I did some work last night. I probably shouldn't have because I had already done a lot during the day. But now check out what we got. So if you enter the farming game, we turn this on and we maximize this. We now have a sickle. It does nothing. And we have an axe, and it does nothing. But you can swing them, and it makes it look like more of this is fleshed out. And then you can go into your house, and you can approach the bed. And it says you are not ready for bed. Try using your shovel and planting seeds. Maybe that will tire you out. And if you try it in this house, you will dig out parts of your house. And you can plant in your house and you can water in your house. So we need to make energy drop. And so this we got to do. Make energy drop whenever you use a tool. Something like that. 15 minutes yapping. We're getting to the meat of the stream. Well, and if the stream is for entertainment, I don't actually think that's a problem. But this is only like 20% for entertainment. Hey, yo. How's it going? Okay, so character portrait should not show when it's not needed. We have that inside this scene somewhere. Yeah, here. And there is a character name panel. Here it is. So what causes this to not show up? Is it dialogue runner? Character name container. Is this set wrong? I think this is set wrong. I think we need to set this to the panel. And then I think it's fixed now. Yeah, so let's go try that. Hey, Strawn, good morning. Please work. So there used to be, no, it's still showing. There's this little thing right here. How do we get rid of that? It should hide itself. Character name container. Okay, let's go find this. Copy property path, character name container. Go search for it over here. Last line character container? I don't want that. I want this. What's this doing? I'm always ready for bed. Full energy and straight to sleep. Hey, Goose. All right, so yeah, we set this to false. Don't want to show character names, but do have a valid container for showing them. So we just disable that and continue if it didn't exist. As if it didn't exist. Show character name in line view. Oh, it's either it always shows or it never shows. There's no conditional showing. I gotta change this then, huh? But this is my own code, isn't it? No, it's not. Do I have my own line presenter? I don't. Okay. Oh, you have a line presenter handler. I think that's my own. Line presenter handler. Yeah, so I think we can do something here. I'm not sure. This is a little bit difficult. Character name container. Okay, let's go find this again. We set its visibility here. What is this function? This is run lines async. Don't we have that over here too? We don't, but we could have it, right? Run line. No, we don't have it here. Ooh, what are we gonna do? I think the dialogue runner needs another presenter that I go make that just hides this thing. Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. And then just control this. We need to know that there's a character name, though. I wonder how we do that. Well, there must be text without character name. There it is, line.character name. So let's set a breakpoint here. Maybe we'll find out some. Why is this not working? There we go. Maybe we'll find out some information. You can just leave bugs, right? Well, I think the bugs should be funny and not just like obvious bugs. Like, imagine if these graphics were blurry or something. It's not like a funny bug. You'd just be like, oh, why can't I see this? So that we got to be careful about. So it should break in. Good. And this should be set to nothing. Yeah. All right. So that's what we got to go control. So we got to go make another line presenter. So let's write this down in Yarn Spinner. Actually, I don't want to do any of this work, but yeah. Write notes about how to stop this and maybe include this screenshot. Yeah, screenshot doesn't really matter, I guess. This isn't even that hard to do. It's just annoying. All right, well, what are you gonna do? I guess just complain repeatedly. But yeah, let's go make this. So like line presenter, conditionally hiding character something. What's the something? What's this thing called again? Character name container. Okay, now let's go figure out how to do this. Like I said, it shouldn't be that hard. It's got to be a node. It's got to be this. It's got to have the longest name in the world. All right, so now let's go fetch these classes. Now, why is there a problem here? Oh, yeah, because we didn't implement this. So go implement everything. And then we got to go use this. We got to go put this in the scene. So there's a line presenter there. Right after this, I guess we're going to make a new control. And call this whatever I called this. Silly. Just silly. And then put this in the dialog runner. Okay, we're one step closer to that. So now we have to go to runline async and copy this whole function and then delete most of it. Oh wait, what am I doing? I could just do it this way, right? There. Okay, so line text. I guess all we really need to know is what? The line, which we're passed in, yes. And then the character name container, whatever that was called. What is this called? Character name container. Yeah, let's go find that. Character name container. Got it. So we go put this up here. And now delete pretty much everything. If line text is null, I don't care about that. Character name, line.character name, here it is. So all we're doing is if line.character name is null, then we hide this thing. Then delete everything else. Whew. Okay, are we good now? I don't think we do anything here, action markup handler. So now there's one thing I'm missing, and it is to set this to the center container, and then we're done, I hope. I sure hope. That is not super fun to have done. Didn't work. Okay, what's going wrong? Let's put a breakpoint there. Is this even being hit? Oh wait, it won't be hit now because I got to start it from this debugger. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Yeah, it is being hid. So is this null? It is null. Is this null? What? This is all fine. So then we set this to false. So then something else must be setting it to true? Maybe the order is backwards? That doesn't make any sense. Where's the character? I keep forgetting what's called. Character name container. This sets it to false. What sets it to visible? Oh man, I don't know. How is that even possible that nothing sets it to visible? Hey, Jesta. I think it's a good name for a kid. I think we should be more descriptive with, or prescriptive with how we want our kids to be. So name them like super successful and happy person. Yeah. Or Sasop for short. Yeah, I don't see where we hide this. Or sorry, I don't see where we show this. Yeah, weird. Well, there's another control for this. Let's go find that. It is this show character name in line. I don't know if this matters. Show character name in line, yeah. What? What about character name text? Do we set this to invisible? Interesting. I guess we just don't have a control. We don't show it. So nothing's responsible for showing this. So then if I click the play button, why is this still there? Hey, Sarah. Well, the story stuff all worked out, I think. I'm pretty happy with that. What I'm trying to figure out now is this character name container won't go away. If I hide this, oh no, there's still something there. Okay, this is not this. It's the panel. Oh no. I'm just stupid. That was the problem the whole time. Oh. All right, well, let's see if this is... I gotta change this. I think this is still needed, this code. Hey, Cavino. Cavino, I was thinking about you this morning when it came to localizing. Because I know in your newest game, you have localized to a bunch of languages. But I remember when I was looking at localization, you're like, why is that so hard, Adam? I did it for my game, which was not the same one back at the time. And I'm like, Cavino taunts me, even as I'm showering. Okay, so this is going to set this to false. And now it's actually going to matter, right? Yes, nice. You're not ready for bed. Oh, shucks. Okay, so this is working, but now what happens if we need a dialogue that has a character name? And nothing's going to make this visible again, right? So I guess just set the visibility of this, like bool has character name equals... Nah, this is dumb. Just do it this way. So it's visible if this thing is not null. And then just delete this. And probably delete this and this. Yeah. I mean, it does feel super easy. Further proof that you're dumb, Adam. Wow, thanks for being so nice about it, Cavino. No, I'm this is all sarcastic, of course. I'm not taking your very mean words to mean that. No, I need to think about what exactly made it difficult, because I think there were a couple of things. One was, I think pluralization and articles and gender are all difficult because in English, they're simple. There's one rule for plurals. Well, pretty much one rule. I guess they're always pluralized nouns. Articles are always just a or the. And gender is not a thing unless talking about people. So like the table doesn't have a gender, you know? But then when you're localizing, you got to keep all those things in mind and like set up your English strings in the right way. That's true of pretty much every game though. But yeah, then I happen to use WebLate, which I think also causes some issues. Hello world. Hello world. Oh, okay. I'll use that in the future. Hey, Pressel. Okay, so we need some other dialogue that has a character name. And here's how we could trick this for now. We could go to farm yarn, and here we could say bed colon. So this is a character name. So now the bed is talking to you. Actually, it would kind of be funny if this were the bed saying this, like, you're not ready for me yet. Try using the shovel and exhausting your energy. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that worked. And now if we go back to this, perfect. Okay, so what if we deleted this from the scene entirely? Or just detach the script? That's probably easier. No, wait, we can't detach the script. What if we did this? We delete it from here. There. Now if we run this, I'm assuming this is going to be broken. Pumped up for the day? Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't have any pluralization or masculine or feminine versus feminine differentiations. To be clear, anytime you have an article, you technically have a masculine versus feminine differentiation. So like if you were to say, you know, grapple to the planet, this the is going to cause you a problem. Oh, well, no, I guess it's only if you parameterize this. Yeah, never mind. It's only if you parameterize the thing that you're saying to grapple to. Because then you need a string for like masculine and feminine the. But yeah, otherwise not a problem. Wearing pants today? Not at all. Hey, Corpsey. No, I'm wearing pants. All right, yeah. So this is the problem without this. Great, I fixed it. Now I just command Z. Yep, nice, great. Let's go write a note about this. Conditionally hiding. What's that thing called again? I don't want to come up with names for things. Character name container. We should probably include the picture here. All right, there's an idea that I want to write down before I do this, though, which is have the bed talk in first person. I think that would be very funny. Okay, so e.g. in this image, you can see a panel container. I should have just highlighted it here, right? Or maybe like this. This shouldn't be here. So now we got to delete this image in the right way. How do you do this? Click the image. There we go. Delete. Character name for the bed text. To fix this, or like fixing this is pretty easy. Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's not necessarily the most straightforward thing. So make your own line presenter with this code. CS. Now tab all that in. And then have your dialogue runner point to the new line presenter. And have your line presenter point to the character name container, or like set the in Godot. Yeah, there we go. Proof. Legs. Imagine if I'm like, whoops, I actually did forget. All right, so this is done. This is done. This class is solely so that the character name container can conditionally be shown/hidden. Hey, Magnus. I see we're on the Tuesday O configuration. Nice follow through. I will now use that to tell what day of the week it is. Okay, this isn't needed. This is, and this is. All right, so conditionally hide character name container. This is for dialogues. Okay, so I think that we should change this. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. You're not ready for me. You're not ready for me, human. I think we should make this lowercase. Yeah. Try using your shovel and planting seeds. Maybe that will tire you out. Yeah. This is so silly. I love it. The bed talking to you. All right, cool. Change bed so that it speaks to you. A first person bed is hilarious. Oh yeah, I'm gonna compliment myself in the commit messages. What is going on here? Oh, I see. All right. So now have energy drop whenever you use a tool. So let's try this out. Go to the farming game. And I guess close every other tab. And then go to the platformer game because we have a cheat thing here. I'll copy this. And we'll go to input. And when you press the cheat button, we'll make your energy meter drop. Do we have that? I don't think I ever got it. We have it in the UI somewhere, right? Yeah, meters, energy meter. Yeah, we never fetched this. Your health can't drop in this game, so we don't need to ever fetch that. But the energy meter, your energy can drop. So let's go get that. Private meter, energy meter equals null. And then in the cheat button, energy meter dot fill amount minus equal 0.05. I just want to test this and see if it works. Let's go try that. You cannot sleep yet, human. Okay, so you can see this, but it's kind of subtle and it's unfortunately not very large. But yeah, when I press the button, the energy meter animates itself dropping a little bit and then depletes completely. And at that point, maybe it like shakes or something. I don't know. But then you should be able to go to bed at that point. So we got to control all of that stuff. And this is when you use a tool. I haven't done that yet. So like we'll make a, where's the tool stuff? It's all over here. How do I want to do this? Let's just do it the simplest possible way for now. Yeah, let's do it the simplest possible way. I don't want to get too crazy with this. Plus, I don't know the needs of this exactly. So we'll say deplete energy, float amount. And then we do this. And then anytime you use a tool, we'll just deplete your energy by a little bit. So maybe like 1%. 1%. In fact, you know what? Let's just put a tool usage, private, const, float, energy, tool, energy depletion rate. There. Oops, that was supposed to be paste, not D. All right, player used axe. What else do you have? Watering. And we put it in shoveling, right? Yeah. So it's watering, shoveling, planting a seed. Planting a seed, I guess, could take energy, but maybe not as much. Planting, plant and seed energy depletion rate. And is that everything you can do? What else is on your hotbar? Axe. Did I get the axe? I did. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? Watering, shovel, sickle, axe, plant seeds. Oh yeah, stepping. That was the last one. That's not a tool. Do we not have another thing in the hotbar? Huh. No, something feels wrong. I gotta play the game to find out. I don't actually know. All right, so then this is gonna be the plant seed. Energy depletion rate. And we'll set this to 0.2. So you can plant 5 seeds and you'll use 1% energy. Could the player look tired? I'm going to have them like show an emoji over their head or something. Yeah, so we only have 5 tools here. I didn't realize. Okay. So now you can't see the energy bar. So I guess this is not helpful. I could turn off my camera, but let's do this. So as I plant seeds, we should see this deplete. Oh, wow. It's depleting very fast. Oh, because it depletes even if we don't plant a seed. Ah, we should only do that if you can actually plant the seed. Done. All right, let's keep testing this. Okay, so now if I plant seeds, it should go down much, much slower, yeah. Which means that this energy bar should probably be larger in the UI, so you can actually see it. And if I water, it'll go down faster. And it doesn't actually care if I water the same tile multiple times. And shoveling, it's the same way. Maybe we could have some of these tools use even more. Yeah, because they all use the same amount. Yeah, it should probably use a tiny bit more. Still love it. Did you dig this out? You can. Oh, wait, no, go back. We could also have walking deplete your energy a little bit. Yeah, maybe we have walking deplete it. Hey, Mr. Evil Rex. All right, so movement energy depletion rate. This should probably be even lower than planting seeds, so maybe like half the amount. And on player stepped, we will deplete the energy by this amount. Okay, so let's go try that. I don't know how much this is going to feel like. Is it too much? Is it not enough? And then I think we should make the energy bar a little bit bigger. So let's turn on sounds. Every time you hear that little tick, 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 it should be depleting, yeah. So if you were to just explore your farm a little bit, you will run out of energy. I'm curious about what hitting the bounds a little bit will be. It's not a crazy amount. Yeah, I think this is tuned pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, I like this idea. So as you walk and plant, you'll use quite a lot. We should probably make it deplete a little bit faster. Yeah. Tool usage should maybe be just a tiny bit more. Maybe like 50% more. Planting seeds, maybe everything's 50% more. Yeah, there. Okay, good. Now make energy meter bigger. So let's go plug that in. Make actions take energy in farming subgame. All right, next up is to make the meters a little bit bigger. So right now I think they're already, yeah, they're a scale of 1.5. If we make them a scale of 2, then we also need to change the position of this, which I don't think works automatically. No, because the pivot is in the wrong spot. But if we set the pivot to 1, 1, then it works. Wow, this is fantastic. Yeah, so now, does this look too large on the screen? I don't want the whole screen to be covered by UI all the time. Hey, Scoreland's going pretty well. All right, so if we do this, then this is about as large as it can get without me covering it with my... I'll just turn on my camera for a second, that way we can see it at full screen. Okay, so now let's full screen it. Yeah, so now they're just a little bit far apart. You see this gap between them? I think if we just decrease that, I think it'll be okay. So yeah, now as you plant and walk around, you'll see this drop a little bit more obviously. We could maybe even make it drop a little bit faster than that. No, that's probably pretty good. I want people to think it's a real farming game. Magnus. All right, so all we need to do here is change the separation to be maybe like that, and then send both of these things at the end. So ignoring the blank space at the side now, here's what this looks like. Is that pretty good, or does that look too cramped? Looks like Stardew Valley. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a reference to Stardew Valley. But yeah, Welcome in Darkness. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I might even put a tiny bit more padding on the right side, in which case this would all be inside of a margin container. Actually, honestly, I'd probably make them a little bit closer together too. Yeah, let's just a tiny bit closer, and then inside of a margin container. Margin container. So we put this here, put this here, put this at the bottom right. We need to make this have its own scale now of 2 and the correct anchor. 1, 1, 2. And then finally, I don't know what the margin is by default. Apparently 0. Yeah, so we just set this to like an extra pixel maybe. Let's try that. But it's Strawberry Valley. AQO. Hey, Fish, can you have it when you quit a sub game, you get ported back to the architect's location, told to get out, and it quits for real? That's interesting. But the problem is that you're only able to transition between games due to glitches. So it kind of imply that quitting the game is a glitch. All right, yeah, I think this is much more visible now. And again, when you plant, you'll drain your energy a little bit faster. Maybe we have planting drain even slightly more than that. That way it's obvious. So it's currently 1/5 of the tool usage depletion rate. Let's set it to 1/3. All right, so what did we just change? Make energy meter bigger. I also improved the spacing between the meters. And make planting seeds take slightly more energy. Okay, those things are done. If you've burned enough energy, then allow you to sleep. So now we need a conditional. There's something like bed not tired. Yes, here. And I want this to be a check of how much energy you have. We don't have a way of knowing that. There are a couple things we could do here. One is we could emit a signal just saying like you have entered the bed region. So spawn a dialogue and let the farming game figure it out. Another is to pass the farming game into here. And another is to have a signal from the farming game that we could listen to over here of every time your energy changes. I think I'm going to go with the first one, which is public event action player went to bed. Yeah, that's pretty good. So invoke this. Now in the farming game, God, do you think I'd be able to type that correctly? Now we have the interior of the house. So we have this. Oops. On player went to bed. So now we check your energy meter. And if the fill amount is greater than the energy exhaustion level, then we say you're not tired. Otherwise, I guess we're doing this kind of stupidly. Bool is exhausted. And just set this to is exhausted. Bed tired. Then delete all of this stuff. All right, now go plug this in. The exhaustion level should be 20%. Been meaning to look into that. Man, sleep is so important. I have a little acronym. Tipped. Tomorrow is for thinking. I like to just kind of think about stuff before I sleep. And I have to remind myself that, like, no, you can do this exact same thing tomorrow. Just get some sleep right now. Why do I use partial classes? Because it's got definitions spread across multiple files. So partial just means multiple source files have the code for the class. So you might have like player action functions.cs where you have partial class player, and then maybe you have like player, I don't know, UI or something. And in both of these, you define these. That's what makes it partial. The reason this is needed for Godot is because of how it bridges to GDScript, I'm pretty sure. Like it's going to generate a script for your class, and that generated code can't be in the same file as the original, as what you're defining. So things like signals and stuff are handled differently. I see, Magnus. Hey, you boy. Really intrigued by your keyboard. Where'd you get it? I kind of made it. I think I have more on this page. Yeah. This page in particular is where I talk about like how I ended up making this. So I took the CAD files for the existing keyboard and I chopped off a column here. And then I sent this to a PCB manufacturer and got a bunch of PCBs. And then, yeah, I built it. These are not my pictures at the bottom. But yeah, this is the original keyboard, I guess. I had another column here. But that's too many keys. Everyone knows you don't need 42 keys on a keyboard. That's absurd. Like, save some for the rest of us. All right, so now we need the bed not tired thing. That goes into here. Okay, so this is bed tired. You seem to be ready, human. All right, I don't want this to get weird. I want the bed to talk to you, but like... maybe something like... pull the blanket over yourself and relax. Yeah. I don't think it would be that weird. If you never saw this, you would still be like, oh, the bed's talking to me. And then the blanket thing is a reference to the NPC, which you also might never have seen. We could have some conditionals in here if we really wanted to. Just tuck yourself in using the blanket and you'll be dreaming in no time. Yeah. Okay, so let's go test this out. I will not full screen it so you get... what's going on? I thought I ran this. I will not full screen it so you can see the energy meter. So we'll do it like that. Okay, so if you just try going to bed. It says, you seem to be ready, human. Pull the blanket over yourself. That's wrong. How did I already mess up this very, very basic thing? Energy exhaustion level is less than the exhaustion level. Or equal to, I guess. It doesn't really matter. All right, now let's try it again. All right, so now it should say you are not ready. Also, it like skips a little bit. I don't like that. You're not ready for me, human. Try using your shovel and planting seeds. Maybe that will tell you out. All right, well, now we got to go burn through all of our energy. I think the fastest way is probably planting seeds. I don't actually know. No, maybe not. So the music track is about, I think, 50 seconds. So if you were speedrunning this, you'd be able to do this in about a minute or so, maybe? Because we're at 50% energy. We need to be at 20%. I don't have to move. I could just technically spam this button. In fact, I should probably make one of the tools faster for that reason, so that if you are trying to speedrun this, you don't have to wait super long. There's no indication when I'm at 20%, other than the meter and having to gauge it. So that's probably good. Let's go into the house now. Can we sleep yet? You're not ready for me. Oh, I'll be ready. I'll show you. That's got to be 20% now, right? You seem to be ready, human. Pull the blanket over yourself and relax. Okay, so that should trigger a cutscene. How do we do that? Because we have a graphic for the bed having a person in it, right? Or is this worlds, farm, interior, beds? Yeah, so we chose that bed. And we have this graphic. So we could show them with their... just the head sticking out, I guess. This is where it's probably better for me to split this into two graphics. Like this is one of them. And then just the pillow is the other one. Yeah, I think I'd have to. Otherwise, this will look weird. Alternatively, we just take the head graphic. There's probably, maybe there's even a sleeping graphic. I don't know. Let's find out. Character, pre-made. Is there sleeping? Ah, there is sleeping. Well, well, well. And they're even tucked in. Look at that. We got to use that. That's great. And it's animated too. Okay, so let's get a reference to this. Have the character go to sleep. Play a small tune and fade out. Maybe fade a circle over the player. And even zoom in first. Oh yeah, show all the emojis and stuff. Show indications of your player getting tired. And then, yeah, wake up in the new game. Okay. Yeah, let's check in what we've done here. So you can now get tired enough to fall asleep. Looks good. I'm not going to check that in. Yeah, nice. Pretty straightforward. All right, so allow or like change bed dialogue based on energy. Yeah, we do need a way to deplete your energy even faster. All right, so next, show indications of your player getting tired. So how about this? Let's set the exhaustion level to like 90% or even 95%. How much is a tool use thing? That's 1.5%. Okay, so let's set it to 0.99. So all you need to do is use your tool once and then you'll be exhausted. And that'll let us test both states, being exhausted and not being exhausted. So it starts to deplete after you water 3 crops. Your character should show a ZZZ emote and maybe a house and maybe a bed to indicate that you should really be going to sleep. Let's figure out what we want to do with that, because that's a lot. What do we have here? Do we have like a thought bubble? We presumably have a fatigued emote here. Surprisingly, I don't quickly see one. This one could look like it's tired, but not really. Huh. Yeah. I don't see a good one for this. The eyes or the X's? That looks more like they're dead, though, right? Where is that here? I think kill pack. There's a gameplay loop that doesn't work, so the NPCs will get stuck in a loop where they net positive energy. Your autonomy is what finally breaks the cycle. I think there are a lot of directions we can go with this. I almost wonder if we should have the same like base mechanics and keep revisiting different game worlds. Maybe the drool-like one, unless you're also implementing hunger. I'm not going to implement hunger. I think of these, the best ones are probably like this, maybe this. So like I said, it looks like you're dead. And maybe this, but none of them really communicate that you're tired. Like that one's a weird looking one. Yeah, I keep looking at it, hoping that another one will pop out at me, but yeah, nothing is. Row 2 one with added ZZZs would work. Yeah, I wonder if we have an easy way of doing that. Like, is there some other... Also, none of these are different, right? Yeah, they're all the same. All right, so what else do we have in here? That's not helpful. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. Oh, there's a thought bubble. That could allow us to like show your house inside of it, maybe. Yeah, I could mention that. We have a thought bubble in dialog box. Or whatever, this thing, I guess. I'll just copy a path of that. What else? Extras? No, that's not helpful. I don't see anything in here. These are cursors and stuff. Banner, book, decor, inventory, armor, slots, money. No, I don't see anything. Although, you know what? We could put a thought bubble with just you in a bed, right? That might work the best. And that'd be pretty easy to do. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. A thought bubble with you in a bed, sleeping. Hey, Maya. Okay, let's go try to implement that. So we should have that dialog box, right? I just want to make sure I got the spacing correct. It's like this. Yeah, there it is. All right, so we already have this in the game. Thought bubble version of it, of you, gets its own thought bubble with itself in a bed. All right, I'll write it down. And I'm thinking we just make this persistent, like it just shows until you go to sleep. So it's clear that you should be going to sleep. But maybe players will get annoyed by that. Well, I don't know. Players get annoyed. I mean, that's part of the game, is just this thing happens. All right, so how about we just make a new thing here, and it'll be a control. So this would be thought bubble, or like thinking of bed. All right, now we want to add in a, well, I guess this thing is a panel container. So change type to panel container, and then give it the panel. New style box texture, load in. No, don't load in that. Do an atlas texture, then load in the dialog box. Then go figure out how to get the thought bubble one. Where'd the dialog box go? There. Nope. clicked the wrong thing. All right, I like that one a little bit better, I think. There's also that one, though. Oh, this is just for ... This is probably not meant to be, like, expanded. And they also have the animation of it. Maybe we should animate it coming in. Figure out the optimal combo of actions to get tired. Like I said, I'll probably add something that makes it easier. I'll just take this one for now. All right, so where is this located? This is at 9648. All right, 9648. I'm guessing it's 16 by 16. Yep. So now we got to set all this other stuff here. Why is this? Oh, there it goes. All right. Let's increase the size of this. And now we need to make the left margin to... Wait, how do we make this a 9 patch rect? I think it's through here. I don't remember how to do this. Hey, Bronk. Expand margins. Yeah, it's strange. Okay, well, didn't I do this for the other thing that I added? I added one like this. It was dialog box, wasn't it? Yeah, it should just be over here. Where is this? Yeah, this thing. Oh, hey, there are little dots that show up. Those shouldn't be there. Oh, is that because the texture is set to linear and not nearest? Yeah, it is because of that, but then that makes the text look bad. Oh, wait, no, we could change that. We could do this and then set the text to be linear. Best of both worlds. Nice. Same thing with the choice panel. Texture nearest, choice container would be linear. Okay, so now going back to this, I somehow got this working. How did I do this? We made an atlas, we set the texture margins, and that was that. And then set it to tile. Okay, that's why. So this goes to tile. And then we just set these margins. No, wait, we don't want to tile this though. What am I doing? Hey, Remy. Is learning programming worth it? I'm 17. I want to go to university for programming, but I hear a lot of people saying AI will take over our jobs. I don't know what to do. Do you have an opinion? So here's what I'd say. Like, no one can tell you what's definitely going to happen. So it is entirely possible that you go to school for programming and it's made completely obsolete before you're even out of college. And it could be that that happens 20 years into your career and you're like, you know what, I've made enough money now, it's fine. And it could be that it never happens. So we can't tell you this stuff. So I think it's kind of hard to say. That there are two main reasons I think you'd want to maybe pursue this. Either one is like enjoyment or interest, and the other is money. And if it's for money, then yeah, your future could kind of be crushed by your job being obsoleted. But if it's for enjoyment and interest, it won't necessarily be. And there will still be jobs in computer science, but they might look very different. So yeah, I think I don't think you have the intent to do this, but you're essentially asking us to speculate on what do we think the future will bring. And it's just too hard to be able to tell you that. It's almost like if you came in and asked like, what stocks should I invest in? I would say kind of the same thing. Like, okay, this one might be performing well, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to perform well in the future. And if we knew this, we would, go do the best course of action here. Andrew? The way we code will change compared to before? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, up to you to make the decision. I don't have too much insight on what's going to happen. Hey, MPV. Hey, One Trick Pony. How's it going, MPV? Okay, so what else did I do here to get this to actually work? Oh, I think I made no, I did not make a special thing here. Huh, strange. I don't know what I did then. We set a region, then we just set texture margins and set this to tile. Out of curiosity, if I had set this as stretch, what would happen? Nothing different. And that might actually be a little bit better, so let's just set that. The choice panel is a style box empty. Oh, this I meant to change. This is already nearest. And then this should be set to linear. It is. And this is now stretch. I think they both use the same style box. How much profit can I expect? The stocks will go up. Hey, Ivory. It's all magic 8-ball shaking. Mine says computer science is a great trajectory still. Yeah, and I think this is as good as you can get is a bunch of people's opinions. Because if people could predict the future and they knew for sure that there wasn't going to be a job here, it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be a major for it. It just probably means that a lot of resources would get cut from those majors. So if you have, let's say, 100 computer science schools, you'd have now like 3. And yeah, they might not have as many teachers there. I got more jokes on my sleeve. Well, the sleeve's too wrinkly. You'll never get them out. Need to iron out that shirt. And then draw center. Okay, yeah. I don't see what I did differently here to... Yeah, I don't see what I did differently here. This should be stretched, though. Oh, there we go. Hey, nice. We kind of fixed it. Okay, good. So now we just do that, and that, and that. But then what about the border of this? Haven't I just messed up the whole thing now? Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, no, it's there. It was just huge. Oh, I did this correctly the whole time. I just really needed to zoom in or something. All right, well, I don't think we want to stretch this. I think we need to put the like tail of the thought bubble somewhere else. Which I don't like the idea that I have to do that. If I do tile this, what happens? Yeah, but then we get a bunch of those. We can't stretch the bottom of this. It needs to be split into 2, I think. Hey, Taras. Taras, please be mindful of segmenting. It's the most of the same thing, just with a different focus. Yeah, I think, well, so one of the other things I didn't mention here is I think if AI is going to like crush computer science jobs or programming or web dev jobs, that it'll probably crush a whole lot of other jobs too. So you need maybe a backup and then a backup of that backup. Because yeah, what happens if you shift into, I don't know, just something else, and then that something else goes away. So yeah, I think the problem here is that we have 2 different graphics, or we should have 2 different graphics for this. But I think getting this to align is also going to be weird. Because we need this bottom part to connect to like just the bottom right of this thing. Or maybe this was only ever intended to be used for those emojis or something. I'm not sure. Alternatively, we could use this dialogue and then try to put this little thing at the bottom of it. Or another thing we could do is just not have this stretch at all. Just take a graphic and stretch it ourselves. So we do something like this. This will probably look bad. I can't move this now. Give me a sec. Texture, Atlas, quick load, dialog box, and then go figure out the coordinates for that. 9648. There we go. So yeah, we could just expand this. And that's another way we could do this. Except for it'll look very thick. The pixels will be like quadruple the size. I guess we can try it in game anyway and just see how it'll look. Like we now need another texture rectangle in here that has the bed. And then, oh nice, you have to use an Atlas texture. You don't have to for sprites. I wonder why. Just use the first one. I don't know what it is. 16 by 16? 16 by 32? 32 by 32? 32 by 48? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So this is the original size of this thing. So we only need our speech or a thought bubble to be able to encapsulate that. So we do something like that maybe. It still looks too thick here. Looks like a 9 patch would work for that texture. Excuse me. Sorry. Normally I can mute, but that came on very suddenly. I don't think you can use 9 patch for this bottom part though, right? If you want to get it to fit, you'd have to split it into 2 images, which I could split into 2 images if I want to do that. But I probably need to change some of the pixels on this. Yeah. All right, well, let's try that for now. I'll just copy this and we'll put it into the farming game and we'll just see what happens here. It's huge. And I can't move this for some reason. Oh, it's because it's in a different position. All right, so let's change the scale. Why is this scaling this way? Still looks too big. Yeah, that would look a little bit better, I think. We shrink down the bed. We'd also have to shrink down the player graphic in there. What are you making? I'm working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Some more information about it in that document there. Yeah, so I like this idea. I wonder, let's see what this looks like in the game. Like, is it visible? Does it look stupid? It's okay. Because of the scaling, it's doing this weird, like, jittery thing there. Yeah, this is... Man. Is it coming to Steam? Yeah, it'll be coming to Steam. I only just started working on this within the last month. Hey, Kyle. Putting you in the background while I game dev again. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I am. Hope you're doing well, too. Yeah, I'm a little torn on this still. I don't want to put the bed at half size. Well, I guess we have to, right? Because the actual bed is... Oh, no, it doesn't show up because it's a different scene. But the actual bed is like twice your size. Is this Godot? Yeah, this is Godot. Please do take a look at that document, Bronk. It should answer a bunch of your questions. I guess my only real problem is this dialogue thing. So maybe I should just put it inside of something that's not a thought bubble and just don't worry about it for now. Did I ever do something like this? Maybe I wrote a note about this. I could have sworn I had somewhere. Thought bubble? No, I didn't. And if we look at 9 patch rectangle, yeah, it was just this. Maybe panel container. I'll look at this when I come back from the break. When I start game development, I started a very long time ago, actually. I've got a command there that tells you a little bit more. I'm going to take a quick break. And when I get back, we'll continue pursuing this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, hello again. Close the game. All right, so what was I just talking about? Oh, yeah, this. Looking for panel container here and just seeing if there was anything else I wrote about this. No, not really. Yeah, I think we have to split this into two. I don't want to do that right now. So how about we just use that? Yeah, that's probably better. All right, let's go find it. So that is the first graphic in here, and its size goes down to 4848. So it should be easy enough to set up. 0, 0, 48, 48. And then just set the margins correctly to, I think, 3 each. I think this graphic looks a little bit bad, though. Yeah, it's like a little uneven and it's baked right into the graphic. Like you see this dip is whatever 4 pixels big, but then this dip is longer. It might have been intentional, but it doesn't it just doesn't look great. I could probably just make them even myself. This is not like a super artistic thing. I could just probably count and draw. Hey, Magic. All right, well, whatever. It's good enough right now. All right, so let's put the bed in there. So now this will go in here. It should probably be in a center container. So center container, then the bed, then delete all this other stuff. I guess the bed isn't really centered though. We could just shrink this. Yeah, there. And then shrink this. Yeah, this doesn't really look like your character be thinking about this though. What we could maybe do is we could maybe add in the other graphic and just like use it as the tail of this thing. So Atlas texture, quick load dialog box. What was it? 4896. It was not. I don't remember where it was. 9648. There we go. Yeah, so if I put this like back here and behind it. Nah, it looks bad, right? Yeah, it looks bad. I need to not expand the size of this. So we'd have to set this to be 16 by 16 and then try to put it there. Yeah, it doesn't look good. These probably weren't intended to fit like this. All right, well, whatever. How do we make it clear then that this is what you're thinking about? Maybe we set the modulate a little bit lower. Whoops, not like that. This. No, that wouldn't work. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know what I want to do here. Farm player. Yeah, so delete this. Paste this in. Yeah, it looks dumb. Ah, man. All right. I don't know. I don't know what we do for this. Well, we could have the energy meter wiggle and flash. Hey, Phil. Yeah. We have the meters here. So imagine if we were to rotate this a bit. Like something like this. I can't rotate this because it's inside of an HBox container. Well, anyway, imagine we just rotated this whole thing, which we also can't do because it's inside of a margin container. We need to anchor these correctly though. Can use the thinking box with ZZZZ. Yeah, my problem with using this thinking thing is that it doesn't expand well. We'd have to split it into 2 graphics. And I could do that. I just don't feel like doing that. And I need to actually paint over this so that it's got a solid pixel border there. Hey, Chili. You have clouds appear with the bed above the head instead of a bubble? Clouds? Like use a cloud as a thought bubble? I guess I could. Well, I'd probably just want to change the thought bubble at that point. Can you put above the energy bar at a certain level? Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's wiggle this thing, which might not even be easy to do. because it's going to stack them on top of each other. I want to be able to control the rotation of something within an HBox container. That's generally not something you're allowed to do. And I can't change the rotation of this because it's a child of a container. Let's search for this. Godot rotate control within a container. All right, I think I have a solution. It's a bit different than what others have proposed. New scene, rotate the label. Can extend container and code your own container to fine tune the behavior you want. Yeah. And I can just set its rotation after that. I mean, we'd be tweening this though. My favorite git command, git log, tells me what I've done. Random NPC walks in, stops by your energy bar and reacts accordingly. It's just in screen space. It just like points at the bar. You're like, how is that thing there? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with this. Yeah. Do we have... Man, I'm like bothered by this. What do we have in here? These are not for sleepy portraits. Wait, no, there was something that looked like it's a little bit sleepy looking, right? No, never mind. It's just their eyes are closed. Okay, so not that. We have the pre-made characters here, and we have the sleeping graphic. Do we have a sleepy graphic? Sitting, petting, idle, broomstick, fishing. No. What's in others? Shine. No, I don't see anything. Food, ground icons. No, I don't see anything. All right, well, I don't have any ideas. I don't have any like easy to do ideas. This is where I just need to draw attention. It could literally be that just that your character says something like, I'm getting sleepy. Out of control, then rotate the child. I can do that, but then I won't position things correctly. So I think I need to override the, like, see, this is now wrong. I need to override the container. I could set a minimum size here, but then this thing also needs to be positioned correctly. Where is this right now? There we go. Yeah, it would like kind of work. It's just not, it's not as, what was I gonna say? Robust of a solution. So yeah, then we set this to 0.5. I mean, I guess we could just do it now anyway. So I just wiggle the energy meter a little bit. Yeah, I might do that, Raccoon. This is 16 by 48. This would also need to be like 16 by 48, right? So yeah, when you're low on energy, we wiggle this from what? How much can we go to the left? Maybe like -8 degrees to 8 degrees. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we have a wiggle animation over here. Wiggle tween. All right, let's copy this and put this into the farming game. So meter. Public void start wiggling. Okay, so this will just create a tween over here. What we're going to tween is going to be the entirety of this, right? Yeah. And then Godot node paths rotation should just be the word rotation, right? Yeah. And it is a node path. Good. Now replace this. All right, so angle is going to be... There's some math function that has degrees to radians, right? C# convert. Oh wait, no. We don't even need to do this. Isn't there rotation in degrees or something? I think you can change that. Yeah, rotation underscore degrees. I could also just convert it in code directly, but we wanted it to be 8 degrees in either direction. Okay, so how does this work? Final value 0, wiggle time, delay. Okay, let's just see how this looks. Let's just start this wiggling right off the bat. Meter, energy meter. Yeah. Tie the animation to the button. All right, so you can see it now at the bottom right. It'll wiggle every once in a while. Apparently, just once. Huh, that doesn't look like it's working then. Did we not set a loop on this thing? Yeah, it's not set to looping. One of these has a loop on it. Oh, it was on our question mark that we had a long time ago that I got rid of. All right, that's fine. I think you do it at the beginning. Wiggle, tween, loop, set loops 0. Is that right? Set number of times, set loop 2 will run twice. How do you run it infinitely? I guess 0 is infinite? Is it working? Yeah, it's working now. All right, is that good? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if the energy meter could have an emote. Like, what if it had the rage emote on it, and it just showed one of these like random 3 rage emotes here, all the red ones, like indicating like go to sleep. Like the meter itself is mad at you. Alternatively, we could just show an exclamation mark or something above it. Maybe we do both. Like after enough time, it changes from an exclamation mark to a rage face. Maybe it just starts spewing beds out of it or something. Maybe scale the shaking with exhaustion. All right, so let's add a texture rectangle here. Atlas. Quick load, emojis. Texture nearest. All right, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3. How big are these? 16 by 16, yeah. All right, so 48. And then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 80. All right, there we go. So we could throw this up here. Nah, you can't center it. It's always going to be off by 1. It pops out of the corner and walks inside to go to bed. So this will be our energy meter emote, and we'll change it. Actually, I'll just make 2 of these probably. So like exclamation mark, and then we'll duplicate this, and I will change the region. Which if I change this for both of these, will it change for both of these? Yes, it will. All right, so we'll make this unique. I can't make it unique. I guess I have to make the texture unique. All right, that works. So now where's the rage one? It is up 2. So let's set this back to 48 and let's subtract 32 from here. And there's our little rage face emoji. All right, so then this is the rage face. And this should all be in some energy meter thing, probably. Like it is a meter, but it's got some other stuff on it. I'm probably not going to do that for now. So let's hide both of these and then just fetch them. Actually, I should do that, shouldn't I? Everything here is public, right? There's some of the stuff that's private, but that should be okay. Yeah, fine. Okay, so we have meter. Can you make a new like derived class from this directly? Yeah, if you can, it doesn't matter. All right, energy meter. So this inherits from meter. And we need to do all this stuff in there. So there we go. We make a ready command and call the base. Cool. Get all this stuff. And then we want to fetch its exclamation mark and rage face. Private control exclamation mark rage face. So get those. And they should be hidden by default, and then we'll show them at some point. So public void. Actually, I guess in the start wiggling, we can do it. Just kick off a timer here. And every once in a while, show you an exclamation mark. And it should wiggle with this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Although actually, we could just have a callback here. Like in the delay, we show this. I don't know why this is this way. This should just be a tween interval. This just takes in a time, yeah. I just didn't know it existed at the time, I guess. And then with that same thing, wiggle tween dot parallel dot tween callback callable dot from show emoji. All right, cool. And then we need to hide the emoji after it has gotten done. So this is not parallel. Now we have hide emoji. Let's just see if this is working. So let's just take the exclamation mark and show it. And then over here, we'll hide it. Oh, you probably want to fade in and out. And then the farming game, instead of having the energy meter like this, should be an actual energy meter. So we go change that too. And yeah, let's see how that works. So now I should wiggle, then show the exclamation mark. This failed because I probably forgot to give it the right script. Energy meter. Done. We should also export this to its own scene. I'll do that afterward. All right, so there we go. Good. Hey, Fallen Great. It's going pretty well. Do we have an like a fade in command? I don't think I ever got this. We had a fade functions thing over here. I never included this. Huh, I never included this. It could be a node extension or a canvas item extension. I think that might make it a little bit nicer. All right, let's do that. I really wanted to get out of this farming game today. Man. All right, where are the extensions? Here, random node vector. Yep. Okay, so add a new class here. Call this canvas item extensions. Add. Great. Just paste this stuff in for now. Then go over to here and copy this over to this. Call it the right thing. Give it a canvas item. Yeah, just call it item, I guess. And then we make this not static and doesn't need to take in the item. And then same thing down here. Not static, doesn't need to take in the item. And then we just move these up and delete this. And that should work. Yeah, we just need the node paths now. I should probably just make this class at some point, right? Yeah, I should probably just make this class. I don't know why I wouldn't. Where is this over here? Source constant. Maybe like... I don't know where I want to put this. I'll put it in here. Godot node paths. All right, we don't need the namespace. We don't need this. All right. Now we can go change that energy meter from defining a node path right here to using rotation degrees over here. We don't have rotation degrees. And now we need this to be used over here. So node paths dot rotation degrees. Perfect. These can all be consts. All right, so anywhere else we had a node path is now going to be broken. Oh, also we got to investigate why the dialogue is causing some like massive delay. Figure out why the bed dialogue is causing a delay when it first spawns. Is this related to having it be the first dialogue to show? Would it instead happen when you hear from Tutorial Man? How do those get node functions work under the hood? So there is a scene hierarchy in Godot. So you see like we have a farming game underneath this, we have a music player and everything else. Get node is going to take in the path and just return that node from the path. So for example, if you want this, you can right click this and copy the node path. And it looks sort of like file and folder structure. So like underneath the canvas layer node, there's a margin container. Underneath the canvas layer, there's a margin container. So that's all it's doing. And then in C# we have generics. So we can say like, hang on one sec. Excuse me, we can say that this thing is a margin container and it'll get returned correctly. So yeah, it's just fetching a thing from the scene tree. It's probably a bunch of other places I should have used this thing. All right, so where do we leave off here? So now we have a fade in function. I want to use this in the energy meter so that we fade in over the course of, I don't know, like 0.2 seconds, and fade out again over the course of like 0.2 seconds. Dialectics. Yeah, sure thing, Pauline. Great. And maybe make the delay a little bit longer as a result of this. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is instead of always picking the same emoji, I want there to be a counter, like emoji counter. And every time we call show emoji, we're going to increment this. And then if the counter is like it's wiggled every 3 times we show an emoji, and we just need to pick the correct emoji to use. So private void get emoji to show, or get emoji to render. I don't know. Is going to be a control, and we just say if return emoji counter is less than, let's see, so we show the exclamation mark like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. All right, then we just do this and this. Cannot convert from int to bool. There we go. And then control emoji equals get emoji to render. If emoji dot is visible, then we'll fade it out. Does fade out make something show by default? No, it just tweens its current alpha down to 0. So actually it's technically fine to call this no matter what. Yeah. All right, let's try this out. All right, so wiggled once, wiggles another time. When it wiggles the next time, it should show an exclamation mark. Then the next time, it's going to show an exclamation mark again. I think it should take a little bit longer to fade in. Then it shows one last time, and then it starts showing the rage face. Yeah. So now as you're doing this stuff, the next one will be the little rage face thing. Yeah, that should probably move 1 pixel to the left, because this one looks like it could be centered. I mean, kind of. It's not going to change that immediately in the game. All right, well, whatever. It's good enough for now. I guess nothing else indicates that you need to go to sleep. I thought this would be the easier task of the things that I wanted to tackle. Yeah. I like this idea. I'm going to save this over here for now. Have them start drifting toward the door. They just pathfind their way there. All right. So now they should be able to go to sleep. I mean, this is when you enter the bed. So I shouldn't even like wait for the player to do this. I should just put them into the bed. Built-in procrastination. Yeah, I don't want to force you to go into your house at this point in the game. I want to make it clear that you have to. Maybe it becomes nighttime then. Yeah. Indicating sleep. We could just have it become nighttime as your energy wanes. Hey, Illusionary Moon. And thanks. Yeah, it's a corn keyboard. Got more info about it there if you want to check it out. All right, let's go check this in. I don't know how I feel about this. Also, I finally added in Notepad, so I should probably search for all the strings that we have in the game and see if there were any of these that I needed. It's not easy to find. But yeah, okay, so add in this, add in the energy meter. Farm has a new rectangle shape here. What? Why? I mean, I'm not going to argue. It's just changing the ID. Doesn't matter. Oh, hey, this needs to not be checked in. Yeah. And this can't be checked in either. It's once you hit the exhaustion point. So we need to know that you've depleted your energy. So fill amount is less or minus equal this. I guess this thing can figure it out itself. But I'll just put this here. If energy meter dot fill amount is less than the exhaustion level, then start wiggling. And we'll make sure this doesn't start wiggling if we already are wiggling. So I'll just do a private bool is wiggling. There's no way to regain energy. Oh, there could be though. So I guess we should do this in fill amount, which means I need to go inherit. I need to override this. So this would be like virtual float. I don't know if you can even do this. I mean, we could also just override animate fill to or something. All right, override float fill amount. So this should just do what the base does. Base.fill amount equals value. And then if, I guess we can just save off the tween. Yeah, fine. Private tween, wiggle tween. Oh, we don't know the exhaustion level here though. I think that's okay. We could just make this public. If value is less than or equal to farming game dot exhaustion level, and the wiggle tween is null, then start wiggling. Else, if the value is greater than this and it was not null, then we want to stop wiggling. I think there's kill, actually. I think that's what I want. Aborts all tweening operations and invalidates the tween. Yeah. Hey, Flair. Any good stories? Not really. Not as of the last day, at least. Yeah. You ever consider using a framework instead of a full engine? Not necessarily recently, but originally? No, not really. So my own game dev journey has kind of been like swap between doing everything myself, using frameworks, and using engines. And I just find that I have the best experience personally when I use an engine. Like, I don't want to deal with most of the stuff that an engine has to do. I want to just focus on the game. And then doing everything myself, everything just takes too long. And using frameworks, I find that I just run into more issues with the frameworks. And then every once in a while, I have to wonder, like, is this the best framework to use? Are other people using this in my scenario? Whereas game engines are generally supposed to be general purpose. I'm not saying other people shouldn't do what works for them. It might be different from me. But I think this works for me. Okay. I mean, some of these things should be made into constants. Is that what this is even saying? Yeah, convert to the constant. All right, what else do we have here? I should probably test this before I continue. So let's set the exhaustion rate to 0.8 and just run this. Hard time letting go of my perfectionism with learning an engine. I think it saves work. Oh, hey, that thing is showing by default. I set this to 80%. This is going to take forever, won't it? Can I just shovel it repeatedly? Ooh, that doesn't work. Okay, that definitely doesn't work. I think overriding this from energy meter was a bad idea. Something's off about this. And that rage face is showing by default. Oh, that's just because I left it in the editor. I think get log best represents me because it shows me a history. And because that way I'm represented by my favorite git command. How do we fix this? Because the animation thing is now broken. Oh, because the animation's happening here? This is changing the fill value, which is not the same as fill amount. I almost think we should just have a listener here, and that way I wouldn't have broken this. You'll be there all day writing functions to handle physics and other logic. You mentioned much less work. I think the trade-off is like if you have specific needs, if you enjoy making a game engine, if existing game engines don't meet your needs, without like a significant amount of work, like Godot could be made to meet your needs. But yeah, maybe you want to do things yourself. Maybe you don't want to rely on other people, any of those sorts of things. Sushi, please do be mindful of segmenting. It is one of the few extra rules in here. Looks so good. I'm going to spend time getting comfortable with it. Nice. Yeah. There are a lot of these sorts of keyboards that exist out there, and other ways you can add layers to keyboards via software if you don't want to buy new hardware. So you can find out if you'll even like this sort of thing. But yeah, anyway, I think I want to focus on just the game dev part of it, like the game specific part, not necessarily the engine. All right, so let's delete this. And let's try something else here. This is a little bit weird in terms of what I'm doing here. So just like changed fill amount. And now we have a protected void changed fill amount. And this doesn't do anything. Well, virtual void. And then here we override it. Protected override. Okay, so now what we do is if fill amount is less than that. All right, let's try that out. I just don't want to struggle with this right now. And this is not important, and this is code we'll probably never touch again. So nothing weird's happening. If we just use the shovel over and over, we'll eventually get exhausted, which happens at 80% now just for testing. So eventually that thing should start to shake. We have no way of recovering energy. But yeah, it is animating correctly. Yeah, so now it starts shaking. And it's shaking very violently, probably because it started many of these. If it's less than or equal to this and wiggle tween is null, start wiggling. Oh, right, because I did not change this function to use this. Yeah. And we have several more of these. There we go. Okay. I think that's good. And then I do think what Magnus said about staggering this based on the angle that we have is probably a good idea too. So we can say float angle equals, let's do it this way. Let's say percent exhaustion is the fill amount divided by this. Yeah, good. And then percent exhaustion times this. So now if you're at 100%, so this is the opposite direction that I want. I want it to be 1 minus this. There. Now, unfortunately, this is really hard to test because it's set to 80% right now. So we need to make it so that tool usage like drastically lowers your energy. So let's set exhaustion level to 20%, and maybe planting seeds will lower it by quite a lot. So if I just plant 8 seeds. Oh, wait, what am I doing? This is pointless, right? Yeah, I can just set the initial fill level to much lower. Energy meter dot fill amount equals 0.21. There. Now I don't need to deplete it. Try to go beyond today and I got rejected. What does that mean? KS? And hey, monkeys. Totally fine to be lurking. Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. So this is going to start shaking, although it'll shake very lightly at first, to the point where it's not even noticeable, really. Like, it might already be doing it. Although it might not. Oh, there it goes. All right, so now it's shaking too lightly for you to notice. But if I start digging a little bit, it'll get... No, I probably just broke this. Whoops. All right, what is this equating to? Oh, no, I see. It's start wiggling does not update. So it's when you first do this. I would need to have it change. Yeah, this creates the tween once with whatever the angle is initially. And we probably would want to set this to like a math dot max of 4 and that. So at the end of this, we would need to do a tween callback of hide emoji and start wiggling. This will create a new tween. It'll never kill the old one. There we go. All right, I think that'll work. And now it'll update the angle. It'll be easier to notice the stamina going down. Yeah, I actually got rid of those lines, I think. Because I think they were there originally. All right, so let's dig once. Yeah, so there, it started shaking. And as we drain more of our energy, it'll shake even more violently until it finally hits 0. It's the difference between 4 degrees and 8 degrees, so it's not like a lot. Although maybe now that it's getting down to the very bottom, we could shake it even more than that. Yeah, I also want the fade in of the emoji to take a little bit longer. 0.2 seconds is not a lot. And how far can we go before we hit the other meter? We can go to negative like 14 maybe. So maybe we do that. Okay. All right. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to test that because I don't care. We'll test it a lot as we play through anyway. All right. So this looks good. This looks good now. Yeah, this rectangle shape, I don't actually know why that changed. I also don't really care. Exhaustion is set correctly. We get the energy meter. We don't do anything else. Yep, I changed that a little bit. I could export that to its own scene, but I might want to do that. Did this move just because I saved and it put it in a different spot? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. This is no longer virtual. Changed fill amount. Yeah, that was just to prevent having to make a virtual property. Okay, so have energy meter shake when low. Hit the other meter, make it residually jiggle. Yeah. All right, where are we at now? Yeah, I wrote that we could just have it become nighttime. We could also have the clock advance based on your energy. I think that'd be kind of funny. We don't have the clock yet, and I haven't made any like nighttime thing. And we probably want some lights on your farm if we're gonna do that. We have some candle graphics that we could use. They look like they'd burn down your house. All right, so have the character go to sleep. We play a tune, we do a bunch of stuff. So where does that happen? House interior. We do not have an on dialogue complete function. No, we don't. Where is that? On dialogue complete. Dialogue completed invoke. Farming game invokes it for farm zone to listen to it. Interesting. Okay, so we do this in the house interior as well. We don't have an initialization here. I guess we just didn't need one until now. Yeah, let's copy the whole function. All right, done. And then we listen for that. And there's only one thing we're concerned with here, which is bed tired. Farm yarn. Yeah, bed tired. So in this case, what's going to happen now is it's going to play an animation player, which we don't even have in this scene, which is going to make your player like get into bed. Except we don't know what their starting position is going to be. Well, we know their ending one is going to be. And we know you have to be close to the bed, but we don't know what direction you're facing from it. That's another thing we got to figure out. Alternatively, we have that run through code and then signal. Honestly, we could just teleport you into bed. I don't think it really matters. Yeah. Actually, even this is probably not important. What we could do instead is just... What does this dialogue say? You seem to be ready. Pull the blanket over yourself and relax. Okay, no, it does imply that you should be in bed. Fine. Fine. All right, so let's make a new scene then. Like bed with sleeping player or something. Bed with sleeping player. All right, transform set to 0. We don't need a bed region. We don't need that graphic. So this changes to... Huh, why is... Whoa, what? Was this always a thing? I don't think I knew you could do this. But why... Well, you can't Command Z that apparently. Why can't I just change this? I guess we'll just make a new Atlas texture here. I hope that didn't change the one in the other scene. It did. Yuck. Can I Command Z this? I could just not save the file, right? Good. Problem solved. All right, load in beds. Find the right bed. It should just be the second one. Yep. So 32, 0, and then whatever the other numbers were supposed to be, which is 32, 38. All right, so now there's our bed graphic. Now we need an animated sprite for the player. That's really just their head. And quick load in the sleepy graphics. Sleepy graphics are over here. And we put those into our characters, farming character here. So now we get sleep, which I think you need to click this again if you're going to do this. Oh, it's sprite frames, I see. Assets, sprite, character, farm, Lyria, sleep. All right, so what's the size of this? Must be 32 and 32. Nice. Select all. So what is a good frame rate to have here? Let's put them on the pillow. And set both of these to nearest. All right, let's see what they look like. Autoplay. That is way too fast. Turbo sleep. Maybe 1 frame per second. Even that's a little too fast. Maybe like half a frame per second. Yeah, that's great. Look at you go. Okay, so scenes, sub games, farming game, bed with sleeping player. Okay, so now in your house, we will instantiate in a bed with sleeping player and put this where the bed is. We'll just copy the transform, so I don't need to get this right. 9962. 99. 1 pixel over. And then if we put this on top of the player and just hide the player, it should be fine. There are technically 2 beds there now. Oh, you actually might be able to notice that. Yeah, because the shadow gets double the opacity. Okay, well, we'll just hide the bed and we'll hide the player. So we need bed and we need bed with sleeping player. And in your house interior, we go get private node 2D bed. and bed with sleeping player. And then go get both of those from ready. There. Come on. There we go. All right, so bed with sleeping player, we can hide. It could just be hidden by default. So when you are done with this thing, we want to hide the bed, show the bed with a sleeping player, and hide the player. Where do we even have the player? Farming game.player? Yeah, farming game.player.hide. Disable input so you can't leave. Although, well, actually, yeah, it probably is important to do that. Okay, let's go try it. We've done a lot. It's going to teleport you into bed, which is going to look a little bit weird. Well, yeah, let's see. So you're not ready for me, human. Oh, right. I gotta be tired. Forgot about that. All right, energy exhaustion level, let's just set to 99. So now you get exhausted pretty much immediately. All right, there we go. Now we're exhausted. You seem to be ready, human. Pull the blanket over yourself and relax. That actually doesn't look too bad. I think just teleporting them into bed is fine. And now you can't move, can't select different tools. And now it would fade out. We'd play some music. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good indeed. Yeah. I love that this looks so clean when you can dig out part of your house. It is intentional. Well, we're leaving it in intentionally. But yeah, I need to make a bunch of other stuff. We need to make it so that you can use your axe and it'll actually like do something. Because we got some other basic farming mechanics. The farming mechanics actually don't matter whatsoever. Like ideally you plant some seeds, but if you don't, it's fine. It's still gonna advance you. Yeah, look, the energy meter is going nuts. Gonna get even more violently shaky. And it's gonna start showing the rage face. I don't know who's just gonna ignore this. When it hits 0, nothing bad happens. Although, if it does hit 0, we should probably just keep doing some ridiculous stuff with it. Like Cuddlefish said, it could just knock the life bar away. Alright, it's there. Now it's at maximum shakeitude. It's like, let's go to sleep. Let's just go. We're gonna sleep now. Oh, that's a problem. The held item moves. I think it's changing your animation state. I gotta find out why it's doing that. So this is done. Entering the dialogue is somehow changing your animation state. I guess the character's process is... Is it still running? No, it's not running at all. What could even change your state then? Oh, if the animation you're in ends and the animation tree tells you to go to a different state? Is that what's happening? We were in walk, hold, item. Walk, hold, item does not leave itself. So it couldn't be that. Oh, no, there's idle, hold, item as well. And that is just enabled. No. All right, I don't know. I don't know what's doing that. We'll have to look into that after the break. On the next project already. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this project, though. I've been very happy with just working on it. It's been fun. I just want to make a little bit more progress than I'm making because we got to get out of this farming game. And I'll show a little bit more about what I mean when I get back from my break, probably. So, is it jump time? It's jump time. Okie dokes. Close the game. Why does it become blue when watered instead of just getting darker brown? Yeah, it's just because we haven't finished that part yet. Whew. Okay, so yeah, for those who have been following along, we have, where is this? Flow control. Oh wait, maybe I didn't check in yet. Let's check in first and then I'll show this. So I don't want to change this. I just want to allow you to go to sleep. And now you can. Yeah, allow sleeping in the farming game. It doesn't lead anywhere yet, but will eventually transition into your dreams. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so let's do this. This is going to be play normally, and this is going to be true. Yeah, for those who haven't seen the game, I'll show what I'm actually working on here. So this is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And this is actually how it starts. This is why I want to get out of the farming game. So we got a basic tutorial here. Press A to jump. Press A in the air to double jump. So, you know, normal tutorial stuff. Press R to dash. Now you can move a little bit faster. I mean, you could already do that if you've discovered it on your own. Try to collect all the diamonds in one go. But you can't. So you take a ton of damage here. It's the only thing that can actually damage you. Nice. And you end up in this farming game. So yeah, this guy tells you got to farm. It'll eventually look a lot better. You can go plant seeds and stuff. And your energy will be depleting, which you can see just to the side of me. If you try to go to bed too early, it'll say you're not ready for me. Try using your shovel and planting seeds. And because this is a broken tutorial, you could even shovel out your house if you want. And you can even plant seeds in your house if you want. Is the intent that the character will eventually look similar between sub-games? Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot that we're doing just to cut corners for right now so that we can just figure out if this game is worth pursuing. I think there's always a trade-off when you're making games between having it look close enough to your final vision and having it ready soon so that you can pivot if you need to. I think we should make this, I don't know. I got to think about pacing because technically none of what you're doing here matters. You're not staying in this farming game. And the only point here is to drain your stamina enough to the point where you get tired. And it takes a lot to drain your stamina. Alright, there we go. So then we'll play a little tune. We'll go into your dream. It'll go to the next game. Yeah, I love the concept of this. I love the idea. For the story that I have, I've got a lot of plans, and as you can see, that was what, like 3 minutes of gameplay maybe, and it took 3 weeks to get there. So yeah, who knows? Maybe this game is like 12 minutes long by the time we're done, and that's it. You pay, you know, $50, $60. You play for 12 minutes. Okay, so what we need to figure out is why is it changing animations when I'm inside of a dialogue? How is it even possible? And it's even just the bed animation. I gotta find out what's doing that. So if I just go and I'm walking toward the bed, everything was fine. But if I keep doing this, does it eventually change? No, it was like facing up at one point. What if I walk from the top? Yeah, it just faced up. Using an engine? Yeah, I'm using Godot engine. It doesn't always do this either, which is what's so weird. Like it sometimes moves. I wonder if there's like a weird input on the controller. Yeah, I don't know. 12 minutes of gameplay for $50 inflation. People will be happy to purchase it. 30 days of farming and sleeping, and you can't continue before that's done. See, that's what some people would actually probably do, like flesh out these games and make them seem like they're more full games than they are, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we have like okay, so this is part of why this thing's so long. Like these things, the first three things are all coded. You saw them being used. Like we can actually shovel things out, we can water crops. We can use the other tools. We have the animations, but they don't do anything. Although you will probably need to use the sickle to harvest the strawberries at the end of this. Well, that's not how you harvest strawberries in real life, but that doesn't really matter, I think. Some of my favorite things ever cost $60 for 12 minutes, so I think it'll be fine. This is a family-friendly stream. I think you're hinting at something not family-friendly. Or just plant the seeds and acquire water. You just swipe the card. Hey, Badada. Yeah, microtransactions for everything. Sure, why not? Farm player. Okay, so we have some force animation states here. I want to put a breakpoint here right after the dialogue. I think this gets hit constantly, doesn't it? It's getting hit from, yeah, even just standing around. Yeah. So that's technically not what I want. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be, okay, I think I know what's going on here. Physics process calls move and slide. Oh no, it's at the end of the function though. I was going to say the rest of physics process will still run, and it will technically still run. But this is what moves your area 2D into another region, which then triggers a dialogue. All right, let's just trace through the code then. So house interior has the bed. Player went to bed. Here it is. All right, what does this do? This calls into this, which calls start dialogue. Start dialogue shouldn't do anything else. Oh my God, no, we do force it into idle. Oh, whoops. Okay. So why is it changing directions sometimes? Yeah, that's strange. It shouldn't change directions. Direction is set through blend position. Where is this called? Should only be inside physics process. Yeah. That's strange. Yeah, that's strange. Okay, so how about this? Let's have it print out. Set facing to facing. And then print set animation to animation name. Oh, let's go test that. Also, everywhere we call this should currently be highlighted as an allocation, right? It isn't? Ah, no, implicit conversion. Yeah, nice. Gold leaf steak. Yeah, that's right. Does using public-private keywords make that much of a difference? How do you decide which one to use? So they're called visibility modifiers. Private means you can't call this from outside the class. Protected means you can only call this from within the inheritance chain. And public means anyone can call this. And then there's also internal in C#, which is anyone in this like module or something can call this. I don't know what you call modules, but project maybe. So yeah, these matter. If you're making a library and you were to ship some private functions, people might use your library incorrectly. If you're making your own code and you make literally everything public, it's not really going to make too much of a difference. I mean, it's your own code. It's just not the best way to do things. But the reason you use visibility modifiers is to signal to yourself or to someone else in the future how it's supposed to be used. So even if it's only you ever working on your own code and you make everything public, that's going to signal to you that, like, I don't know what the contract of this class is. So in general, use the most scoped down visibility modifier that you can. All right, so I'm gonna move on to here, and it said set animation to idle, so that all worked fine. Now we're gonna walk down. That's still fine. I'm gonna walk left. Still fine. What causes this to break? There, it just broke there. So we were walking up, our facing direction is -1, but it set our animation to idle, now we're facing right. How's it even possible? And before that, we were walking. Yeah, we walked into idle. So walk is here, and it goes back to idle just in an enabled state. So then we go here, and this is a blend tree. And this is at the +1. I see. I think I see that we need to run some kind of like change thing here. Where is that? What does that? Something has to control that, right? Here it is. Oh, so this should always happen when you're walking left, though. Why is it that I can walk right and see it happen sometimes? Like right there, it just happened. It made me face downward. Oh, something's wrong about this. Hmm. I think we might need to set this again after forcing the animation state. Yeah, we always set the blend position at the end. Oh, wait. No, hold on a second. We call moved before this? What is? Oh, this is for entering doors and stuff. I don't care about that. Yeah, I wonder if we just need to set the blend position again. Let's try it. In fact, don't we call force animation state regardless? Should we know your facing direction? Like, what if we did this beforehand? I guess that's one way we can test this. We have your facing direction here. So if we just now walk around in the game, does this mess up? Because if this messes up, then it means that we do need to set this before entering a state. Or sorry, after being in a state. So I'm walking left, up, right, down. No, it doesn't seem to matter. No, yeah, it doesn't seem to matter. What? Yeah, I don't see a problem here. Well, there's another thing we can do to test this quickly, which is private vector to testeroni. Every time you call this, just save off the facing direction. And then if animation name is idle, then call set blend position on this. Forcing blend position to whatever the prior one is that you set. So now this bug may never happen. I don't know the exact repro for this though. All I know is that it happens sometimes that you try walking into the bed and it doesn't work correctly. That's fine. Yeah, that's not fine. Negative. Weird. Why is this happening? And it doesn't happen all the time, and it hasn't happened again yet. Like when I walk down and then it, no, there it happened. Okay, so I had to press right and then down? No, left and then down? No, what causes this? Yeah, it happens every once in a while, and it seems like I have to do some kind of lateral movement first. Yeah, if I move right and then move down, yeah, then it happens. I don't get it. What am I missing? It's the idle position that you're in, and we're idling facing the wrong direction. But it's not even just left and right, so it's not like it's inverted from a sprite flipping perspective. It's like down and right, which to me would suggest that we're picking the wrong point on this. Is that a talking bed? Yes, it is. I thought it was funny that I wanted to add. I don't see a problem here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Also, always it seems to always say it's forcing to 0, 1, even when facing down or right. Well, when I go right, it doesn't say that. So there, it should say 1, 0. So now we do this, and yeah, it says 1, 0. I wonder if we can get this one to break. No, this one looks fine. I don't know if it's a problem. I think it's just a coincidence that it seems like it's fine. Yeah, like I moved left and it went down, but it's still set. Well, these are, I see why this is happening. What is going on? Okay, so what if I did not force the idle state? What would happen? So let's turn this off. Let's go to... I don't know where I put this. Wait, why can't I find this anymore? Where is it? Yeah, here it is. If I turn this off, like I need to set you back to the idle state, but I need to set you facing the same direction you were facing originally. So if I just don't do this at all, now if we're walking, we'll be stuck in the walking state. But does it ever change our direction? So far, no. All right, let's switch to seed so I don't keep doing that. No, it doesn't mess up. Yeah, no matter what I do here, it looks like it's facing the correct direction. So it's caused by that force animation state. And we're typically going from walk over there. I don't know what would be wrong. Destination animation is played back from the beginning. That shouldn't matter. We're just facing the wrong way. The only thing that controls that is this. What does sync do? What does sync do here? What is this called? Godot blend node animation tree. I want to find what sync is. We'll switch to the next state immediately, but we'll seek the new state to the playback position of the old state. Replace the older Boolean sync property. Wait, is this a 4.7 feature? Because I don't have that. In 4.6, I just have the Boolean, right? Yeah, it's a 4.7 feature to change that. Okay, well, then let's read what the new feature is. I want to upgrade eventually anyway. More precise control. None inactive animations are frozen and do not advance. Only the currently active, independent, cyclic, mutable, and constant. It's got to be a problem here somewhere, right? Nothing else would change your direction randomly. But what if we intentionally set it to the wrong direction? Like, what if down here, if we were setting it to idle, I just set the blend position to be vector 2 dot down. So now when we're walking right, will it make it look like we're walking downward all the time? No. That's weird. It made us face right. What? Okay, there for a frame, it flickered downward. Maybe it's been flickering downward for a frame each time. I can't tell here. I don't think it is. But when you walk upward, it does. Now it's just facing down. Okay, I have another idea, which is just let physics process play out. Like, we just turn this off completely. What if we just turned off your input? In fact, isn't that possible to do? Maybe not if we're calling it like this. We can probably just turn off input functions. Is there anywhere else directions being changed? I don't think so. I'll verify it. It's just this code. It's private. And the only callers that we have are, yeah, there are only two other ones. This test one I just added and then this one. And this works totally fine as long as you're not in a dialogue. As soon as we start a dialogue, there's a problem. Let's close every other tab. And, hey, wait a sec. Is that set? There's no closed tabs to the right? Oh, interesting. Is that a thing? Closed tabs, right? All right, so somewhere here, there's a force animation state. There it is. And this is it, unless start dialogue does something funny. We do have a started dialogue right here. Oh, wait, that's what's doing this. No, wait, no, there's another one, right? Yeah, set player input enabled to false, which just changes a Boolean, 2 Booleans, I guess. And that's it. It's not like it changes animation state. Wow, I don't see what's wrong. And the only reason we even really did this, well, one, it should probably look like you're idling there. So if you're using a shovel or something, it doesn't just still look like you're shoveling something out. And yeah, 2 was to stop footsteps from playing. Let's read the documentation for this and see if I'm messing something up. Transitions from the current state to another one following the shortest path. If there's no connection, the play after the state teleports, yeah. Man. And then the blend position is all we have here. If I never set the blend position ever, then we should always just be facing right the whole time. Is it detecting a collision? Yeah, it's detecting a collision. We're just pausing whatever animation is playing be a viable alternative. It would freeze your character there. Wait a sec. Okay, hold on. This might change things. I think I know what's happening. I think each state has its own. Is this correct? Each state has its own blend position. This is on the animation tree, though. Oh my god, it is. Yes, it's current node. Okay, whoops. Totally missed that. All right. Now I understand. Because I was facing... Okay, yeah. All right. So, what we would technically want to do is set this for every single animation you might have. But the idea that I had here was a good idea. It just didn't work for some reason. So we got to find out why. So force animation state travels to idle. Maybe that's the issue here. Maybe it is not currently idle when we do this. So playback.getCurrent node won't be modified immediately. That would make sense. And then we got to figure out how to work around this, which is going to be a little annoying. Oh, right. I can't do this. We need to do it from here. There. Now just hit play. Okay. So we go over to this. So if I were to go into this function now, and we look at playback.getCurrent node, it is walk. Now, when I travel to idle, does it get updated immediately? Because I'm guessing it does not. It does not. Okay, well, that answers that question. Wow. Is there a teleport function? Does that work immediately? No, there isn't. There's just travel. Get current node is playing next. What does next do? If there is a next path by travel or auto advance, immediately transitions. That could be interesting. Everything else is not helpful, right? Okay, let's do next and see what happens there. It's still walk. What if we do next again? Still walk. The issue that another state had its own facing, so when it changed, it was going to that state's facing without updating? Yeah. So, yeah, the problem is each state has its own facing direction. So when we force the idle state, it uses whatever was set there last. Trying to overwrite it on the same frame that we changed to idle doesn't work. Well, and actually, I guess it would be fine. We could just set this to the idle blend position. Yeah, in fact, I don't know why. Yeah, I guess that's the easiest solution. So we just pass in the animation name here, and we're done. There. All right, that should fix this. Yeah, I could set all their facings at once. That's probably not a great idea, though, because there are a lot of animations, and there's a lot of marshalling that happens. So now if I go trigger that dialogue, now, so how would we repro this before? We need our idle state to be facing down and then just press right. Yeah, so it looks like it's working fine now. So we do this, and then we face down. Yep. And I should test that, because now I understand what the repro is. Yeah, it looks like it's always working. Moving me on the farm, trying desperately to. So if I cut this out, this is now going to try our repro, which is we idle facing down and then we walk right, and it should always happen. I wonder why it didn't seem to happen. No, it doesn't happen when facing right for some reason. Wait, no, it doesn't happen. Okay, I see. We need to pivot in one frame. So you need to go like up, left, down. Yeah. So we do that. Yes, that works. Okay, so up, right, and if we were up for a frame, we'll face up at the end. That was not one frame. I can't do this in one frame facing down for some reason. There, it worked. Okay, so that's the bug. So you have to pivot in one frame. And this fixes it. I think the best thing to do is just whenever we just don't even have this for idle. We just do this all the time. And we just keep track of your facing direction. Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do that. Yeah, frame perfect inputs. And hey, snibble. All right, let's go fix it then. So where's the facing direction? There it is. I want to just save this off here. Oh, I guess we can just change this to facing. The direction that you're facing. Oh, the cardinal direction that you're facing. So now we search for this and we change this to be facing. Delete that. And then don't set blend position. Easy peasy. Yeah, so now the set blend position will be for your underscore facing direction, which we now don't need to do because nothing calls this, right? Yeah, nothing calls this. So put this back here. Although now it is always animation name. And then this is underscore facing, and we are good to go. All right, I gotta write this down in my notes. Animation tree, troubleshooting. Don't I have a get current node here? Yeah, I do. Okay, so what do we say here? Like, get current node doesn't update synchronously. All right, now we gotta get some code for this. Ugh. So you have a playback equals like get, well, let's just fetch it. Oh, that means is performing action could potentially be wrong, right? No, it's only if we change it immediately, which we would have changed it before. I might need to consider that at some point. All right, so we do something like this. This should all be in a code block. So now playback.travel some other state. So suppose playback is in the idle state, and now you travel to walking. At this point, playback.getCurrentNode. That's what that was before, right? Where'd that go? Here it is. Yeah, getCurrentNode will still say idle even though you just changed it. To work around this behavior, you could just keep track of what should be the current node yourself. Alternatively, you could wait for a frame. Yeah. All right, well, that was quite the issue. So is it working now? These are things that, they're bugs that, like I said earlier, they're not funny. They're just bugs. So we have to pivot in one frame. Wait, right, like that. Yeah, it works fine. I don't think I did that in one frame. There we go, yeah. It's working just fine. All right, so we have sound on. It should stop walking sound. Yeah. This is messing up. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Cool. Well, I think the code got a little bit cleaner as a result of that too. This graph offset shouldn't have changed. I don't care about that. All right, so fix bug with animations and dialogues. So upon starting a dialogue, it would force you into the idle state. This part worked correctly, but if you pivoted over the course of a single frame, then you would... This is dumb. Am I beyond the farm yet? No, not yet. I really, really want to be. We got like another hour I could probably stream for, and yeah, let's try to work toward it pretty soon. Well, I guess all of this has been working toward it. It's stuff I need to do. So upon starting a dialogue, it forces you into the idle state. So here's the repro. Go into your house in the farming game, and then face left away from the bed, and then press up and right in such a way that you're only facing up for a single frame. And then hold right so that you walk onto the bed. At this point, your character would be forced into the idle state, but they would be facing upward because of the quick pivot you did. This is because we tried setting the blend. What's it called? Blend something? Blend position? Yeah, the blend underscore position. Based on get current node, which doesn't update synchronously. Whew. All right, nice. Yes, so this is fixed. This is fixed. Play a small tune and fade out. Let's just ignore the tune for now. How about we just act like it played a tune and we wake up in the new game? Because then we can move on. So for this, we need to make a new sub game. But it's got to resemble the platformer game. How much of this do I want to reuse? Probably a lot. But we can't reuse the script necessarily. We need to do a lot of refactoring. Well, there are only 300 lines here. It can't be that bad. Because I'll pull out components one by one probably. So this is platform game. What should we even call this? We have, what, farming game, platformer game. I think I'm going to call this Fever Dream game. You're not actually in a fever. Maybe it's just a dream game. Like, I don't know. I've been calling it Fever Dream game. I think I'm going to keep calling it that. Yeah. And this would resemble the platformer. So we just need to transition there. And we used to use an animation player for this stuff. That would mean we had to stay with the farming game for a little bit longer. All right, let's save the whole scene in a new sub game. This is more like the platformer than like the farming game. Is there anything else we need to do here? No, I'll just make it a full new thing. Okay, so Fever Dream game. Fever Dream game. Okay. This will need a new script. I don't have one yet, so let's go make one. There it is, platformer. Okay, so make a new game in here. Add directory. I guess just copy the script. Can you even do that? Yeah, copy and paste. Okay, good. Fever Dream game. This needs to be fixed. So all of the script here, there should be no errors, but this isn't going to totally just work. Well, it will work. It'll just look the same. So now we got to go instantiate that. And that comes from main, which means we need a signal up to main to know that the game is done. How do we do that in the platformer game? We transition to next game here. Finished game.invoke. So each game has a finished game thing. But in this case, there are two ways to finish this game. The farming game, I mean. So where's the sleepy time? Where does that happen? It's from the house interior. So when you complete this, we hide the bed, we show that you're sleeping. So to do play a like fade out and some gentle music, which we're not doing right now. So tween equals create tween and tween interval. Let's wait like 3 seconds. And then call back callable dot from. And we're gonna invoke finished game. Okay, that goes here now. So that looks good. That is for the house interior though. I guess we want to trigger it on the farming game. Yeah, farming game dot go to Fever Dream game. Yeah, that's better. All right, now delete this. Oops. And then go make this function. Done. Why can't I type a question mark here? I guess because it thinks that I had a... Yeah, I just wanted to use the text that was there. Action there. Nice. Okay, so now main listens for this. Farming game. Finished game plus equal unfinished farming game. No digging inside the house. You can still dig inside the house if you want. Hey, Zoe. All right, farming game. So free the current one. Create Fever Dream game. And then fade out and fade back in, right? Yeah. This won't totally work, but we'll get there. Also, I think I want some like game creator thing, so this all isn't here. All right, so Fever Dream game. Let's replace the name of that. This is here. Good. And we don't have a finished game for that one. Everything else looks fine here. Okay, so this will put us basically back in the platformer. Why is this not working? Oh, because of that. Yeah, and there's no way for us to know that we're back in the platformer unless I put some other text here. So we could just change this, press A to jump to Fever Dream. Okay, now back in the farming game, we make it so that you get tired faster. I think we should pull this from the flow control flags. Yeah, so starting... No. This should always be 0.2. We should just change your starting energy. Yeah. Energy meter dot fill amount. Those flow control flags dot... Actually, you know what? If it's free play, why don't we just... Yeah, let's say if the starting game state is equal to free play, then set it to like 0.21. Otherwise, 1. Now, what's the problem? Avoid dead conditional code. Yeah. And maybe we can do this from where we check the starting state. Do we have the farming game in here? We do. Okay, then this will be fine. So in free play, we'll do farming game dot... Oh, we can't get the energy though. And this is a constant. Hey, Cooter, thank you. Thank you. All right, well, we can just make a debug set energy low or something like that. Public void debug set energy to near exhaustion. And we add like 0.021. Yeah. A very tiny bit higher. So you're 1% higher now. And we can say set energy near exhaustion. Yeah. Eventually, this will probably be controlled by some like cheat system that we have. But for now, what should happen is we'll enter the farming game. We'll be nearly, yeah, out of energy. So at the bottom right. So now when we try to go to bed, it won't let us. But if we do literally anything, like just dig a tile, now we are tired. And now we can go to bed. So now we sleep. 3 seconds later, it'll just plop us in the new game. The new game is called Exception Hunter. And the game actually exists inside of Rider. So the player's going to go into an IDE now. And they'll have to figure out why this broke. So I'll play this game for you. We'll look through it, but like, yeah, the player should have to do this. So where is this? Here. Copy absolute path. Okay, what did I mess up? Is it the right path? Scenes, subgames, fever dream game, feverdreamgame.tstn. I'm gonna copy paste this so it looks like they're the same. So that's not the problem here. Oh, I'm trying to instantiate it as a different kind of game. Whoops. And I'm guessing the music is just gonna harshly switch. Still breaking. What's going on? Invalid cast. Platformer game. It's not a platform game, right? Oh, it's got the wrong script. Oh my god. I'm never gonna get used to this. Oh, I never made a script. Okay, well, whoops. Where's the... Oh yeah, I just didn't make a script. Wait, what? I saved it as platformer game? Whoops. Okay. My bad. Rename file. Fever Dream game. Alright, well, there's our problem. Sound glitchy? Alright, cool. We did it. We moved past the farming game. We're out of that nightmare. This will put us right back in, by the way. Because this is just an infinite loop now. No, wait, no, it's not an infinite loop. This will put you in the architect's realm and then the office, but then the office won't transition you out. Whoa. Okay, that was very loud. Was the audio doubled? I couldn't tell because my audio's glitching out. Was it? It did sound doubled? Okay, let me try again. That shouldn't be happening. Oh, it is, yeah. How is that happening? Upbeat music player. Do we ever use this? Only once we get to falling downward. Is it playing platformer audio and Fever Dream audio? How would we even find out, I wonder? I guess we just look at the remote scene tree. Yeah, that should tell us. So I won't turn audio on. I won't jump scare anybody. We'll just go over to here and fall asleep. Okay, now we look at the remote scene tree. And right there in main, we have subgame. We have 2 nodes. That does not look correct. Yeah. Why are there 2 nodes here? Is this the Fever Dream or is this the platformer? They're both the Fever Dream games. So we're making 2 of these somehow? Huh. Yeah. What? How are we making 2? Oh, there must be 2 signals being emitted. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so why are there 2 signals being emitted? Is this being called twice? I find that unlikely. Yeah, I find that unlikely. So I think there'd be 2 listeners over here, maybe? All right, let's just put a breakpoint here. We'll find out if this is being called twice or if it's being listened to twice. Can we make this 2 lines so that I can make sure I'm putting the breakpoint on the right line? I don't actually care about what we print out here. Does that work? Okay, yeah. All right, this'll teach us. So we got to find out why we're creating 2 of these things. I gotta speed up the amount of time it takes you to do this. Or I just start you next to your bed. Okay, so it's called once. It's listened to once. Then it's called a second time. Well, well, well. Why is that? That means that on dialogue completed is getting hit twice. Are we listening to this twice? I guess every time you call init on this, how many times is it initialized? Zone.init. And then base init. I don't think that's a problem. There's one of like three things that's happening here. So all we've ruled out is it is definitely not coming from this. So I don't care about that. But it could be that on dialogue completed is called multiple times, or that we are subscribing multiple times. So we need to go figure that part out now. Where is this invoked? Here. All right, let's try that. Let's also speed this up. How do we speed this up now? Change the tween interval from 3 down to 0. That'll shave 3 seconds off this every time I try. I mean, we could also put ourselves inside the house or make us walk faster. All right, so we initialize once. Okay, so it's not an init problem. So we complete the dialogue once. Do we complete it a second time? We complete it a second time. Well, well, well. Okay, why is that happening? And yeah, this just seems like it has to be a bug in the library itself. So now that I know that's the case, let's get both the stack traces. And then let's just work around this with a Boolean, I guess. So we know this isn't the problem. We know it's the dialogue getting called twice. All right, so there's number 1. Can we copy a stack trace? How do you do this? Copy stack. All right, so this is stack 1. And then we hit play again. And this is stack 2. Are they the same? No. There's on dialogue complete async being called over here. Why? Why does this exist? This is what doesn't make any sense to me. We emit a signal saying we've completed the dialogue. Then we call an asynchronous function, which, wouldn't you know it, emits the same signal. Why would it emit that it's done twice? And then leave it to the caller to figure out that these are the same thing? This is not my code, and I don't know why they did this. And it might just be a bug. Let's go look at yarn spinner. Where's the C# repo? So it's this on dialogue complete. Never calls this. Stop. Why would they do this? I don't see a reason for why this would be the case. Maybe because they didn't want. Well, no, wait, no, that would make sense. I think it's trivially easy to work around this, but I want to do the right thing and like file a bug if it's truly a bug. I mean, this could be anywhere. There's so many repos they have. Well, I guess there are 3, and this one is practically empty, so it's not that. So then we got to find the final repo for this. Yarn spinner GitHub. Where's their other repo? Is this the Unity one? This must be the Unity one. Issues have been moved to new issues discussion repo. Oh, that's really important for me to know. I filed an issue in the C# one and they responded to it. Well, well, well. Okay. Centralized issue repo. They have several other repos. See below. Well, let's put this down here. And maybe just put this on GitHub. Yeah. Several other repos, see below, but they use this one to consolidate any issues that show up. All right, so what about over here? If we search these issues for whatever this thing was, on dialog complete. Skipped second awaited start dialog. Huh. I don't see an issue here. Maybe, all right, let's try one other thing. I don't think this is going to be satisfying, but dialog runner will blame this file. Error loading. Okay, that time it worked. And now we'll go search for the emit signal that we have here. Signal name.on dialog complete. So this was 2 years ago, and this one was 5 months ago. So this is possibly the issue. Why did they do this? Async start stop. So porting from Unity. Start and stop now async. I think this caused a bug. And it's only been, what was it, 5 months? Yeah, it's only been 5 months, so maybe no one really discovered it yet. All right, let me write down where I left off. Probably file a bug on Yarn Spinner for this commit. Emitting the same signal twice. And what was my problem? Oh yeah, this is causing me to make 2 platformer games. It's also causing me to run the, oh, maybe that's why. I don't know. Anyway, all right, I got to take a quick break. Then I come back, we'll finish this stuff. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, close the game. Hey, Ramu. Congrats on winning. All right, so file a bug on this again. Let's go do that. Where's the last bug that I made? Because they're probably just making the same place. Yeah, so new issue. Let's go file this. I don't know how many people are using this to like, I don't know. I'm just going to do this. Let's let them decide. So signal name dot on, why am I typing this? Is emitted twice. So I really should figure out the repro for this. This is part of why I don't like doing this stuff, because it's just takes a while, and like they might not really need it, but I like doing my own due diligence here. So what are we doing? We're spawning a dialogue from inside the farming game, which is this dialogue. The farm game is what does it. I'm tired. Here it is. So start dialogue. So all we do is start a dialogue. Okay. And then we listen for completion, and it just happens twice, and that's it. So don't I have the repro from last time, and I can go take that and change this around? Code Godot repro. Oh no, basic marker repro. I guess maybe that'll work, because this still uses yarn spinner, right? Maybe we'll put this in a yarn spinner folder first of all. And then we'll paste this in here again and call this on, what's it? On dialogue complete. Duplicated on dialogue complete. All right. Now we import that project. This is called being responsible, people. Repros, yarn spinner. All right, import. So we have a script here, which clicking that is going to create a solution file for us. No, it just doesn't do anything. No, it does something. It's just in a different dialogue somewhere here. So trust and open. I wrote this code. New window. All right, so we should have, yep, here's our code. So this has markup palette stuff. We don't want markup palette stuff. We want to make a dialogue runner. Okay, so where do we... Wait, that's not right. That's definitely not right. What am I doing? All right, that's bad. Detach and attach a script called, yeah, main.cs, sure. And now what do we want to do here? We want to, actually, we don't even need to do this, do we? No, we do. We need to get the dialogue runner. Dialogue runner equals get node. Like so. Then we go add in a dialogue runner. This should be a whole thing here. Then we make editable, make this unique. You can't do that. All right, fine. Well, we can just make it local. And now you can do it. Okay, so there's our dialogue runner. We need to spawn a dialogue, so auto start, sure. And then just listen for it. So now runner dot on dialogue complete plus equal. We'll just print this out. Dialogue complete. Okay, that's all we should need to do. And it should just work, and it should print twice. It broke because I probably didn't set something. Auto start, but no start node was provided. Yeah, whoops. It's supposed to be start. Not set. Oh, I need a yarn project, right? All right. Yarn project. Project? I don't know. And then we need to make something else here. A script. Yeah, new script. And then we set the project in the dialog runner. Yeah. Resource not found. All right, let's just do that. Drag this over here. All right, now we run it. Still nothing yet. Value cannot be null. Parameter S. Yarn project not set on text line provider. Text line provider needs it? No, something's got to be wrong here. It probably means I didn't set this here correctly still, right? I mean, it doesn't have to. There apparently is a text line provider. And there is a yarn project here. So yeah, I guess we do need to set this. I don't remember doing that. All right, now there's a... Oh, no. Is it working? I don't see a dialogue here. And I do see an error. Try running this again. We'll figure this out. Even if it kills me. There is no start thing here. Okay, fine. So start. Tags, I don't care. Repro or like... This is just for the repro. Does that work? Ah, neat. So now you hit continue, and it says dialog complete twice, and that's it. That's our repro. Great. So I'm going to bundle this up, and we're going to just move everything onto the screen. Is there an easy way to do this? That will work. The continue button will be off the screen. Yeah, so this is for the repro. So it should instead say click continue, and you'll see the completion event trigger twice. And then just for the sake of making this really nice, let's move the continue button on screen there. So that's all you have to do. Should type out the text. I'm not fixing that. Fine, we'll fix that. Where is that line text here? Yeah. Whoop. There we go. And I should probably say just one last thing in the console. Great. Done. Now we go and delete the Godot folder. And we don't need the idea folder either. So let's copy this entire thing over to temp and delete stuff from there. So we don't need that. Did I say Git or Godot? What did I just say? Godot. Okay, good. That's fine. So yeah, I think we're good now. All right, so now I compress this. Should be pretty small. That's larger than I thought. Why is that the case? Did I include anything? Oh, because of this folder? This folder is 1.1 megabytes? What? Probably because of all the textures and stuff? I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to upload this. Okay. Okay, so repro minimal repro here. Okay, so the issue description is really simple. Causing this issue is very straightforward. You should tab that incorrectly. Running any dialogue will trigger the event twice. Here's a minimal repro project. That's right. Stuck in a farming game. The second triggering of this event was added in this commit. Yeah. I believe this is a bug since it probably shouldn't be left up to users of Yarn Spinner to like deduplicate these events. Yeah. All right, let's preview this. So repro, start a dialogue, and then complete it. Like attach a listener to on dialogue complete. I guess see this code. How do you... Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's probably fine. Can you like tab this in? Ah, perfect. Okay. And then expected, the event only triggers once since the dialogue only completed a single time. Actual, the event triggers twice. Second triggering was added in this commit. Here's the minimal repro project. Create. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, that's a second bug. Now we got to go work around it so we can close this. I did my good deed for the day. File a bug. So we are done with that. Then this is causing me to make 2 platform games. Now we got to go detect when we have completed it. Is this causing issues in any other part of our game? Completed. It's dialogue completed. Okay, yeah. So do we ever do this somewhere else? No, that's not correct. It's here. Yeah, on dialogue complete. Do we ever do this anywhere else? We don't, because it's only the farming game that has this. And this can happen twice. So we invoke this twice. So how do we stop this, I guess? This is idempotent, so this doesn't matter. But this is not. This has side effects. I mean, we could check to see how long it's been since the last one. We could check to see how many times we've started it and check whether we should actually be completing one. Yeah. Didn't I write some code somewhere else to deduplicate this? I don't know why I only see one on dialogue complete. You have the dialogue with the tutorial man, right? Oh, it all funnels through the same system though, because it's the same runner. Okay, yeah, I see. Hey, Dark. All right. Well, we can listen for when this is started. Do we do that? Yeah, we do. Okay. Well, then that's what we're gonna do. Private bool has started dialogue. This is solely to work around this issue. Hey, Aurelio. All right, so now when you start the dialogue, on dialogue. So, oh, this is pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm trying to think of what happened in VS Code. I think it just wouldn't show the results that didn't match what you typed. But it's nice to up and down go to only the ones you have selected. Anyway, on dialogue start. So this, we're going to say has started dialogue equals true. And then if not has started dialogue, return. And then has started dialogue equals false. Or rather, this should be like has ongoing dialogue, has running dialogue. All right, let's see if that works now. Oh man, is this because there's a new solution file in here? No, what is this? Require restarting the application. Wait, why didn't I just press F5? Oh, weird. I must have been in a different state than I expected. Okay, so if we play the music, we hear one instance now. We go to sleep. This prints once. Nice. Ooh, we did it. All right, as a special treat for bearing with me through the farming game, I will reveal the platformer music that I've been working on. This is not done yet, so it's still a little rough around the edges, and it stops after like 40 seconds anyway. But let's play the game without music and listen to what my music would sound like in the game. So how do we do this? Flow control. There's one tall tree. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I haven't finished this. There's gonna be more melody here. But it loops nicely. And we'll work on that more on Friday. And then I'll actually put it in the game. Okay, so let's go check this in. We can now switch to the new game. We probably shouldn't leave all this code in the new game. Big fan. That was awesome. Thanks. Yeah, it took a lot of work to get to that point, but I'm happy with it so far. There's a lot of polish we need to do. All right, finish game. This is good. Actually, wait, this is... Nah, we'll just leave it in. I really should split that out though, shouldn't I? Oh, fine. Let's split it out. There and there. That should be all that we need to do, right? We can just set this back to nothing. Main is doing a bunch of unrelated stuff. Yeah, cool. All right, so allow setting or like set energy lower on debug runs. So now this next thing should all just be get into the Fever Dream game, which we'll probably flesh out tomorrow. And then we got to get back to the Architect's Realm and then back into the farming game. And then the farming game needs to let you walk into town. So we have a lot of work left to do. I mean, maybe I'll start working on this today off stream. Yeah, this looks good. This entire class needs to be gutted. I wonder if I should just gut it now. Yeah, I should. Okay, there. We should test that really fast before I check this in. Yeah, there's no init, for example. So that was a mistake. Let's Command Z that and go keep. Whoop. What's going on? Oh, Command R just stops working for some reason. I don't know why. Huh, yeah. I can go to this, I can't go to this. All right, well, anyway, let's go to init this way. It's just some random init. I go to this. Okay. All right, so we still want this class, right? For this thing. Which means we need to now save off the audio system, which is right there. And there's no player in it yet. Like the song, you open the feedback. Yes, as long as you keep in mind that it is not done. So it's like very rough around the edges. There's still some instrumentation I want to change a little bit. There's the bass line that just cuts out after some time. There's a missing melody at the end. But yeah, as long as that's in mind, then yeah, sure, feel free to give me feedback. All right, so this should now work. And then anything else that we have here, we got to go look through. This is fine. This is fine. We should. Oh, this isn't needed. And then the callable isn't needed here. Good. And I think we're done. Well, there's all this. This scene should be deleted. Is that Command R to search command history? It's to open up this dialog where you can find symbols in the current file. And it works some of the time. It just doesn't work all of the time. And when it doesn't work, I have to restart the whole editor. And I don't understand why I have to do that. Like, okay, so check this out. I'm pressing Command R. It's doing nothing. I'm going to go restart the editor. And it's going to work. What's happening? Oh, there it goes. Okay, we got to wait a little bit for it to load. But now it should be fine. And yeah, now this thing pops up. And it's loading. I mean, even just getting to this is fine. I trust this will eventually work. It hasn't yet. There we go. Yeah. So now I can type something like ready in here. But somehow Rider gets into a state where it just doesn't even spawn this dialogue. And at that point, I don't know how to go to functions quickly. Like, that's what this dialogue is for. I have to just search for it and type something like init, and then I'll find it everywhere and not just the definition. All right, all of this looks good. I want to go into this game. Let's try that out. So this will put us in with full energy. I don't want full energy. Yeah, that's bad. It says method not found on set blend position. Oh, right. We try calling that from the dialogue. Let's take a look at that. Farming game, farm zone. There should be an animation player in here. Opening cutscene. How do we set what way you're facing? This is how we set what way you're facing, and then we don't ever change the walk animation? I see. And there's no other way we can do this? We can't just set the parameter of the tree? Can we? There's no animation tree in here. Huh? Okay. Fine. Well, that's a shame. It's also very simple to fix. So private void set, what's it called? Blend position. So string name, animation name. Oh, this kind of sucks. We're turning from a string name into a string name again. All right, facing. So if we just don't worry about that, then we put this up here and then call set blend position. But if we do worry about it, then how do we concatenate these things without an extra problem here? I don't know. All right, so this should work. The cutscene should play. I don't want to go through the whole exhaustion thing. Consider how it pairs with your art's texture. Song's current texture felt smooth. Art is very pixel forward. Adding more crunch, whether through bit crushing or more percussive noises, will help your music feel less like the audio equivalent of vector art. Oh yeah, I'll write that down. I'll look at that on Friday. Yeah. So here we go. And I'll write regarding the platformer tune. Yeah. Yeah, I want to be careful. Like in this game, for example, let me just restart this. This has smooth sounding music, but I think it fits. So I don't think it's just the pixel art aesthetic. This is still failing. Set blend position. This is stuck in a loop now? Well, that's too bad. Q. Man, that's really bad. I can't even X out of this? How do you stop this? Make it go away. Alright, there we go. Why is this happening? Set blend position is here, and it's got... Oh, it's got 2 arguments. That's not good. I don't have an animation name here. I mean, I guess we could just say it's idle. Yeah, I guess that's not a problem. All right, easy peasy. Arg count 2. You can't move these, can you? No. Oh, that's too bad. So vector 2, 0, 1. Change this to a string name. Yep. And it is idle. And then duplicate this, which doesn't work most of the time. There we go. Worked that time. And then set this to 1, 0. How is that possible that that's correct? Because they look downward first? Yeah. So now we need this to be at this time, 6.4333. So we delete this and set this here. Okay, now let's try this out. Oh. So you face downward, a bunch of question marks appear. Then the guy comes over and you face right. Nice. Then a bunch of dialogue. Don't care. So now you would deplete your energy. Maybe I should make a cheat for this. It just depletes it immediately. Because yeah, it's otherwise pretty tedious to go through this. But we kind of added a cheat anyway in the form of this flow control flags, which we just set to free play. And the whole reason I'm doing this is to make sure we can get back to the platformer game. So now our energy is next to nothing. We have no dialogue. We go into bed. And it teleports us into this, which then tries playing a game but can't. That's okay. I don't care about that right now. All right, nice. Okay, and farming player, this is for the sake of fixing a bug. And that means that this is for the sake of fixing a bug too, right? Changed in here. No, the number changed very slightly. I mean, just for the sake of not diff poisoning it, let's just have it be the old number. 0, 1, 1, 0, that's all totally great. Yep. Then the rectangle shape changed. I don't know why that's happening. And I don't care. Okay, so fix bug with the farm cutscene. It tried setting the facing direction of the idle animation, but I had deleted that function. Can you click the main menu at the top, navigate, see if file member is available? Never seen this happening, so I'm wondering if it's a bug. It might be a bug. I should probably start filing some of these issues that I've noticed. Like, I bet this thing is not fixed still with Explorer over here. Like, if I type Explorer, it probably doesn't find any result. It does find a result now. Huh. Okay, maybe they fixed that bug already. But yeah, before this was a blank label. And I had to set a keyboard shortcut for a blank label so that I could open the Explorer window, which was not fun. All right, I think I've looked through this all already, but let's just make sure. The has running dialogue part, yep, we fixed that. Fever Dream game looks good. I don't want to check in main. or whatever that is, flow controls. And everything else is fine here, right? Yep, cool. Oh, wait, no. That should be 3. This is why we review code. Okay, done. So allow transitioning to the next game. So after going to bed, we abruptly show the next game, which is empty for now. Yeah. Whew. Well, let's push all that. Okay, so entering the house in the farming game, go to sleep. This is pretty much done now. Not quite. We need to fade out. We need to make a tiny little music thing. It's probably just going to be 3 chords. Never going back to VS Code. Show a dialogue when you enter your bed without being tired enough. That's done. That's done. So going to sleep. Still need a few things. To wake up in the new game is, well, I guess like fade in the new game. Figure out why the bed dialogue is causing a delay when it first spawns. Why sorting, find a better background. Yeah. Oh man, okay. So let's fill out the journal. Finally got out of the farming game. Yeah, I haven't made any of the Fever Dream game yet though. So yeah, the idea for those who didn't see it, so you start in this platformer game, you get sent to the architect's realm by a glitch, you go into the farming game, and then you make it to a dream combo of the platformer and farming game. And it's going to look pretty similar to the platformer. We'll probably use a slightly different tile set. We'll probably swap out diamonds for carrots or something, because it's supposed to be a mashup of the 2 games, but not in a way that makes sense. The text will probably all be garbled like it is in regular Dreams. So instead of press A to jump, like random letters might change, or it might just, I don't know. You already know how to play this game though, so it doesn't need to teach you again. And then, yeah, you'll still work your way up to here, and you'll still fall through the world, and you'll fall and fall and fall and make it to the next architect. I just realized as I was thinking that the UI could be the energy meter from the farming game. And you could have a hotbar that is like lopsided. I think this is what we're going to work on tomorrow though. Fever Dream game. Add hotbar from the farming game. Add like life meter from the farming game. Have it be at a like 37-degree angle or something. Maybe it randomly swaps tools for no reason. Don't mind me, just experimenting. Yeah, if you're ever curious, you can just look at the commands thing. But in this particular case, I think you're looking for IDE. And here, all that. All right, anything else to write in the journal? I don't think so. I am very hungry. What is he doing? Is creating more than one game at the same time? Watch him doing a farming game some hours ago. Yeah, so this is the new game that I'm working on. It's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Oh, did I accidentally check this in? I did. Well, whatever. Yeah, so let's set this to this and this. And what is in here? Oh, I accidentally checked in the wrong. Oh, whoops. I already pushed, didn't I? All right, let's back up a bit. Let's amend the last commit and check in main instead of flow control flags. Can we like undo this? Roll back. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted. Oh man, that didn't do what I wanted. How do I like not? I guess I just change this here. There, and then just check it in. And then I'm going to need to force push this. Amend. Whoops. Git push. So this will fail, right? Yeah. Git push force. All right. Okay, so anyway, let me show the game. So this will explain Juan. And hey, cat. So yeah, you actually start in a platformer game. And the game is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, the whole game. So like it's teaching you some basic stuff about jumping here. You can double jump. So I'm going to just kind of speed through this a little bit. And as far as you're concerned, if you just play this game blind, you'd be like, oh, this is the game. Like I'm playing a platformer and I'm going to need to collect diamonds and I'm going to need to, I don't know, fight enemies or something. And then you get to this section and the game is intentionally broken such that you fall through the world. And you land in this spooky area. A lot of this is untextured for now. And you encounter the architect. And they do not want you to be there. So you leave. And now both you as a player and you as a character are very confused. And yeah, you end up in this farming game. Have you seen the maximum hydration clip? Because if not, you should check that out. All right, so yeah, well, didn't your grandpa give you this farm? No. Real jokester, huh? Just saw your grandpa earlier. He told me you were arriving today. Do you need any help getting started? I'm sure I'll figure it out. Whoever floats your boat. And then you're just able to play this game. So it's got some really basic farming stuff set up. The point is not for it to be a farming game, just like how the first game was not really intended to be a platformer. So you can kind of noodle around here. You can plant crops, water them. The only real thing you need to do is just burn through some of your energy. This guy's just here. You can walk right through him. A lot of this stuff is just going to stay like that. In fact, I should probably Y-sort him correctly. You probably shouldn't walk beneath him. But yeah. Yeah, straw full. The music's going to cut out. Because I did not finish the music. But I really like how the farming music turned out. I think it's very fitting. And it was just very easy to make too. All right, so we got to get low enough on energy where you see your energy meter shake. Yeah, if it's the theme of the game, yeah, that's exactly why we left it in like that. So walking takes energy, planting seeds takes energy, and now we should be at 20% very soon. Yep, there we go. So now it's shaking the energy meter. I know it's hidden by my mic a little bit, but now you can go inside and go into your bed. Seem to be ready, human. Pull the blanket over yourself and relax. Now it would play a little tune and then fade out. It doesn't do that yet. Then it puts you in your dream game. Really like more like your nightmare game, I guess. But we haven't made that. So tomorrow we'll work on that fever dream game. I think it'll be fun. And as we go, so in terms of how this game starts, like it looks like a serious game, right? There's pretty much no indication that this would not be a serious game. You've got realistic sounding music, you got nice animations, pretty fluid movement here. The only joke that's here is, where was it? I think over here. No, we gotta go there. This is it. It just says note to self, add more diamonds here. This is the only hint, if you made it up to this platform, that this is not totally serious. Until you get to the part where you fall through the world. But up until then, it's like, okay, it's pretty serious. Then you get into the farming game, and that looks pretty serious too. Although it's getting a little bit goofier. The game's gonna get a little bit more goofy in tone as we keep going. So eventually things will be like sort of obviously broken, And I just don't want to start the game that way so the player doesn't think it's going to be a super goofy game at first. And it's not like, oh, we have to wait an hour for them to get to that point. It's going to be like 15 minutes or something. All right, let's go find someone to raid. I've been streaming now for almost 4 hours. And we got a full day ahead of us tomorrow. So, let's raid Cavino. And I think he'll be online for a little bit longer at least. As always, thank you all for being here. I will link in the Discord servers that I have. If you'd like to join, you can get notifications on when I go live. Or you could follow on Twitch, I guess. I don't want to push anyone to do anything though, so it's your option. And I'll be back on tomorrow for mostly, I think it'll be coding all day. Maybe we do a little bit of game design too. But yeah, thanks for being here. Bye everybody. See you next time.